Hey, what's up, everyone? Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Heliopsychosis podcast. This is your host, Vikas Rajiv. Guys, welcome to the show. And if you're first time here, do hit that subscribe button and share the show. And yes, looks like we have a party tonight. We love to speak about energy, vibrations, right, and frequencies. So vibration is part of us, right? And very important to really vibrate higher. So we've been looking forward for this awesome guest we were planning to have, and yes, they are finally here. But before I introduce to them, I'll just want to give a quick housekeeping of a bit. um, I want to give a shout out to some of my good people that I have been in the past few weeks for the podcast, because we believe the way to screw the algorithms is to cross platform, because they are really censoring. No matter you if you have 100 subscriber or 50,000 subscriber, they are hammering everybody. So what we have come up with is cross platforms, and helping also within the same platform, and sharing the truth. Whoever is bringing some good stuff, important stuff ahead, and we want to that it reach far, right? For so with that, we are so glad that we did some amazing exchange, right? A big shout out to my brother Rob from Holland from Disorganized Productions. It was an amazing podcast. He's going to be here soon too with us. And then the Bump Podcast, George from the Bump Podcast. Then we had also Seven Club and Jean from TikTok. We also had Laura and Nina. That soon I'll be also having a chat with her again on her channel. And then we had an amazing podcast. Like there was me as a flat earther, and one of them, the host was on fence, and one hollow earther and one round earther. So we had an amazing chat, amazing podcast. Their podcast is called Clever Name Podcast. They are totally independent from YouTube and everything. They have the if you find Clever Name Podcast, shout out to them too. And then finally I was on Firmamental Podcast. My good brothers Raul and Alex, they will also be visiting us in the next coming weeks. So do check out all these names that I mentioned. And I'm in the future coming weeks, I'll be also visiting Outer Limit Radio, Josh Monday Podcast, and Flat Earth Files, and many more. So that's being said, guys, I'm going to welcome my co-host that finally we managed to get him on video, and he's here with us, star of the Mechanical Realm, my co-host from more than 2 years now. He's been with us on all up and down, and it's great to have him as a brother and a co-host. Gene, how are you?
Hey, Rika, what's up, brother? I'm doing great. I really am. It's great to be here. You know, I like to say to you, bro, congratulations on the recent past for you, man. You're exploding out there, bro. You had a nice little debate with McToon on debatism, on Jeranism, that just went over like so well, bro. You gained a lot of momentum there with how you speak, and you blew it out of the water, bro. So, and looking forward to talking about that a little more soon. But that was a really great hour and a half of a flat Earth domination, and that's that guy to go to. He's offering up 10 grand for someone who can convince him of things. You can Google what the McToon $10,000 challenge. So he's the big guy to go to, one of them at least. So yeah, congratulations, bro. Yep. Last week we did Why the Lie with Laura Nina. She's exploding right now too, and great speaker. She's got so much great information and just explains herself it all so well. It's really nice. And so it was Why the Lie, and like you said, we've been trying to get you guys on. Our guest tonight, special guest tonight. We've been trying to get these guys on for quite some time, and life's a busy place, guys. So first, I'd like to say thank you guys for getting here and being with us, and everybody in the chat on the live right now. It's busy, and it's not always easy to commit and be there and and do what we're doing. But you guys are warriors. So thank you, man. Thank you very much. And Matt's on his way. Take your time, brother. If you're out there, be safe. We're here. Looking forward to when you get back, bro. And so this week is how the lie, though, guys. This is propaganda we're going to pretty much cover. And how the lie, propaganda, what it is. What they just land on the moon? What was the name of that? Odysseus?
Odysseus.
Right? That was right. And, the claim is, it was private. NASA wasn't involved. It's like, okay, go ahead. You can buy that all you want. And NASA lost a ton of money on that. But Odysseus was a Greek god, and it claimed to be the god of like confusion and stuff like that. So you look up these names, and all of these names lead back to all the way back when people really knew what was going on.
Gene, if I can pop in real quick about Odysseus, because my wife and I looked up the meaning of his name last night.
Great, let's have it, bro. Yeah.
He was a Greek hero famed for his intellect and cunning. He
Right.
was the one who created the plan to create the Trojan horse.
Yes, absolutely. Look at the propaganda, right? All left and right. We made a full circle right there.
What that is like Vika's cover, "Truth in Plain Sight." It's
Truth in plain sight.
like your
Oh, yeah.
just like they just throw it in the movies. It's all right there in our face.
Right.
Oh
Vika.
yeah. So
The lies in the news.
let me introduce to our guest. Like, okay, Mike, I knew just a few years before. I think I remember seeing him in my group World Flat Earth Association with some amazing souvenirs. I remember seeing first time was with that cap with the flat Earth, like with the electronic, display.
That's-
And
yeah.
that's how we spoke, and that's how we connected. And it's a pleasure to have you here, Mike. Welcome, brother.
If I would just want to touch on that, that's a really turning point. Was me posting that picture, because during that time I was waking up, and I was getting into the truth community, the flat Earth community, whatnot have you, and posting that took a lot of courage for me, because I was still in my research phase. I was still not sure of things. I was very scared, and I knew I wanted to connect with somebody else who was on the same line as I was, and I felt like I was alone. And posting that had gotten more hits on any post that I'd ever posted in my entire life on Facebook. And I knew right then, I was like, this is where I belong, like these are my people. And it's never been the same since. So it's been a wonderful journey. I've always looked up to you too, Vika, because you've been really intertwined in all avenues of this thing, all avenues of the flat Earth community, all avenues of the truth community, Globebusters. You do your own podcast. You're on other podcasts all the time. You do a lot in this community. You've got your own documentaries. You do your own experiments. You do a lot, and I applaud people like that. So I really do hold them so high in my heart. And I just want to say thanks for everything you're doing.
Thank you, brother. I remember that your post, that one with the cap, just went viral. There was so many people commenting, and was absolutely awesome. Yeah, brother. We all, as I said, we all do our parts. You are doing your part, Gene. Dalu, and all of us who are watching, and all the other content creators, we all are doing our part to make the big picture, right? So, because it's not possible, right? A few won't make the change, because we need all to be the part of the change, right? And welcome, brother, and our last guest, I think, we are waiting for some other friend too, is Dalu.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know much about Dalu. Dalu, welcome, brother, and if you want to introduce yourself.
Sure. I mean, first, Vika, I'm thrilled to be here. I am the newest member of the THC High Vibrations crew. Mike and Matt invited me a couple months back. We've done a couple of shows together. I've been flat since 2013, 2014, but just raising a family and things like that. And now our youngest is old enough where I have a little bit of time, that it was the perfect timing when Mike reached out to me and asked me to join the squad. So I said, sure, so I'm in the process of still setting up the area here. And this is just phase one of more to come. And, I'm pretty well versed in my flat Earth knowledge. I was a huge NASA fanboy when I first came upon all this, and So I actually had a lot of information readily available that I already knew that I was comparing in real time while I was, looking into this. So that was a time saver, but it also means I had to come all the way over. I wasn't just in the middle of the road. I was a hardcore NASA fanboy. So
That's a good
breaking,
thing.
breaking through that NASA stuff first. The rest of it fell into line pretty quickly. And it's changed my whole life. It's changed my whole life. People say, why does it matter? What difference does it make? I still have to go to work tomorrow. The decisions my wife and I make, the reasons we make our decisions, it has had an effect on everything, including the propaganda and being able to see through political ads or commercials, advertisements, movies, trailers, TV shows, and all the embedded truths in plain sight, or what I call tips. They always give us tips of what they're doing. People say, what difference does it make? It makes all the difference in the world. We've made completely different changes and choices in our life on a personal level, energetic level, emotional level, to a secular level. It's affected everything for the better. We would not be doing what we're doing right now. We wouldn't be where we are. We wouldn't be as happy as we are without, coming into this information. So I'm thrilled to be here every day. I've never been more grateful in my whole life.
Oh yeah, absolutely, brother. It's what one thinks they become, right? And it's absolutely when you align with truth and real truth, you take that decision in life.
Mhm.
You exactly said what because you sense it. You're not listening it from someone. That experience of having that truth and making those different decisions. Absolutely, brother. Great to have you. And I just want, before we continue, I want to give a quick shout out to our good brother Matthew Dragrerio. Brother, thank you so much. That really inspires. And yep, I wanted to say that we are around 20 plus members. So I just thought of today, if we reach 100 members, maybe we'll do 2 streams a week, only if we reach 100 members. But yeah, but it depends all the people if they want to support. We're gonna have one for sure, and all the uploads and videos and all the work as always. But it's to make things more better. So big shout out to my brother Matthew. And I wanted to ask Mike, as we were commenting, like you were commenting about the debate, and we just got cut out. And how you found the debate, brother?
With McToon?
Yeah, you were saying about something science.
No, just that it's just good to have you as an advocate for the flat Earth community, because what I see with the Fight the Flat Earth, with Craig, with McToon, and these other people, and Professor Dave, it's just they're reciting. There's no thought process behind it, I think, and it's just great to have an intellectual like yourself sit on the other side of the table from somebody like that. We really can't afford to have misinformation from our side. We really can't afford to have somebody that's not really well versed in what they're talking about. So it's just wonderful to see you doing it. That's why I say, I've always held you in high regard. So I appreciate everything you guys are doing.
Oh yeah, brother, because these people like to throw out a lot of scientific words, but there is no meaning. If you see the debate, he was throwing out a lot of scientific word, but nobody could understand it. And then I had to throw scientific words also, but the people could understand what I was saying. Even it was very technical word, but it could make sense, right? Somebody could understand, other than just fake numbers and fake formulas. We need to talk in that the people can even understand what we are talking about. So the thing is, the debate was great, but there could have been more contra argument than just deflecting and
debates like that are really tough. I mean, especially dealing with the same type of person as well. They're going to get used to what to say, and like I say, it's a regurgitation. So once you get in that mode, you're reading from a script already. So the more you do it, you're getting better at it. You're getting better at reading the script, And we're out here finding new evidence. We're not regurgitating the same thing. It's not an echo chamber on this side. We're continually digging. They're not providing anything new. Yeah, it gets to a point where you just have to have discernment. By saying that we can't prove we can see far enough because light bends, it's a tough argument to have. That's tough to say. Well, there you go. We're off of our rockers because light bends, and that's why we're seeing too far. You know,
Oh yeah, that's why they want to always that we look up and the black matter, the black hole, the gravity. This is the reason. Nothing could be. I'm getting an echo. Somebody has their mic. Do you guys have echo? Because I've had an echo. I
I hear
hear
the
myself.
echo. I hear the echo, but
I also hear
Yeah,
the echo.
maybe I have to mute the mic. If somebody is not speaking, can mute the mic.
Is your phone on, Vika?
Maybe. What? Just a second. Holy, I was making some checking the comment. Somebody was asking in the comment about it. Mike, go ahead and tell us about how was your journey, when and how it happened, and which was the proof that made you said, "That's it, guys. I'm in."
Well, this is I don't really get to talk about this much, so that's great. I'm usually asking people. I'm usually asking my guests. As you know, we've got the podcast High Vibrations, and this is good. I was a really bad alcoholic at the time. About 6 years ago, I walked into my daughter's bedroom. We're living in a 2-bedroom apartment. The girls are sharing a room at this time. I don't have my life together whatsoever. If it's the worst it's ever been, and my daughter is 5 or 6, right? And I hear the TV. They're watching PBS, public broadcasting station, so-called. But I hear the words rocket, sun, moon, stars, spaceship, all within a 30-second period. And I hear them like 4 and 5 times. Like this little cartoon character is going, we're going to go to the moon. We're going to go to the sun in our rocket ship, and we're going to see rockets all the time. And when we go there, we're going to see the stars, and the sun's going to be so bright, and we're going to see rockets. And I was just like, what the fuck did they just say? And I knew right away, like something's not right, because why would they say that so many times in a row? And that's the propaganda. I knew from, psychology classes that I had read or documentaries that if you say something 7 times in a row, it burns in your brain. I think we all mostly know that concept, right? So I knew right then they're trying to. I just assumed at the time that it was just a way to encourage space and encourage, like science kids. Is this a way to make them more smart? Perhaps like we're just saying all the spacey science stuff so that it'll make the kids smarter. And so I look into it and I'm like, why? What show is this? And I start looking up cartoons with space, and it's like all the cartoons. Every single one of them is about space, and it's like I just knew right then I had to keep looking. So ODD TV's documentary, Planet Flat Earth, and then it was the real turning point. 100% was Conspiracy Music Guru, and I just knew right then. I heard a couple of his songs. There's no satellites in outer space, or there's no pictures of satellites, and Flat Earth Man really got to me, because I just knew with that kind of talent, why would someone who could like really make a name for themselves be talking about this conspiracy theory stuff that I know is censored? I know that this guy's not going to get a lot of traffic, or he's not going to become famous singing about this stuff. So why would he do that, and why is he so good? So I just kept looking into it, and right then it was over. I knew right there. I did my own experiment. I live at the beach. So I went down to the beach, and I'm drinking a beer, and I can see 9 miles away. I looked it up on my phone on Google Maps, and I'm like, Google says I can only see 3 miles. Why? How come I'm sitting at the water's edge, and I can see clearly in my phone? I'm zooming in on my cell phone, and I can see the bottoms of these buildings and the sand 9 miles away, and where the water meets. And it really was a click. And I knew right then, like I had been lied to, and the rabbit hole started. The branches of the rabbit hole got deeper, and my life started to change. Like Dalu said, he hit the nail on the head. You live your life completely different, seeing everything that's being bombarded at you. And until you see the brainwashing and the indoctrination, you'll live in that bubble. You never get out of it. So it's been an amazing journey. You're muted, Vika.
Gene, you want to add something before we continue?
Nah, that's a great story, bro. I'm glad you ran into it somehow, and it's cool how it changed your life for the better. And it really does. It offers a lot of different things in life you might not even thought you missed or didn't want. It gets rid of pressures and problems, and so
I woke me up to the truth, and like if I was like, if I'm going to look into this truth, and I want to be a good person, and I want to look at and share the truth with other people. Why am I drinking alcohol and yelling at my kids and smoking cigs all the time and blowing money and just being a bad person, and doing drugs and just being a bad person. And I changed all of that because of Flat Earth, man, because it opened me up to the spiritual side of things. It's you just don't know. One of my favorite sayings is you don't know until you know. It's nothing you can do or say to somebody you can't shake them. Hey, man.
You can't shake them to wake them.
You can't.
Don't work, bro. You know what? It's kind of like, I don't know if I feel like it's my job to shake somebody to wake them. You know what I mean? I'll drop seeds and plant seeds all the time. But, shake people, it's like,
I can relate.
Let me just add that this is what gave me purpose in life too. That is my purpose in life, is to wake people. I feel like I found that through this. Like I was so lost, and I'm totally on this path of like trying to help others and all aspects of life, not just Flat Earth, but all truth, and helping them find a better themselves. So this is definitely helped me find purpose. Go ahead, John.
Great, man.
I was going to relate to what Gene says. I actually grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, so I've already broken through mind control once before in my life, so that made Flat Earth a lot easier. But I just lost my train of thought. It was on the same lines of what you were talking about, Gene. Oh, that you don't want to shake people. I grew up preaching and knocking door to door, and so I grew up preaching and trying to convert people to my way of thinking, and the preaching is out of me at my age and level of experience with it. And I love having a conversation with someone about Flat Earth. If they want to genuinely engage in a conversation, I'll do that all day. But as far as debating someone to convince them, or grabbing someone on the street and being like, listen, I'm like, I have my ways of doing it, but it's the direct flat smacking is not my go-to move, for sure. It's the same as you.
Nah. I'll go into any store, anywhere, any situation, and talk to anybody. I'll walk right up to almost anybody, start talking to them, be like, but I was even like that as a space fan my whole life. Be like, oh, hey, did you hear what NASA did? Wow. Blah, blah. And I took that, and now I do the same with all the propaganda that we've been born into, and we're immersed in propaganda with space, school, education, science, history. It's like what's not everything. Edward Bernays, that guy's story is freaking crazy. He was called the father of propaganda. He's got a few major campaigns that you know about, but you might not know who directed the campaign against its.
Well, between Bernays and Goebbels,
right?
Between those two, that's modern propaganda in a nutshell, right there.
Kinda, for the last 70 years or
100
more,
years,
100 years, right? Yeah. All of it, Titanic, Hindenburg, anything. It's crazy.
But that's part of how it made Flat Earth an easier pill to swallow for me. When I first came across
the
stuff,
severity of the depth of it, right?
Well, since the turn of the century, there was a significant event on the East Coast around the turn of the century that has affected us all since. And when I broke through that event and came through the other side, from then on, I have had my modus operandi, if you will, has been, if anything is labeled official story in the media, I immediately assume the opposite and work backwards from there. Be like, oh, and it served me well.
Well, you know what,
So
guys?
Dalu, yep.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Gene.
Go ahead, bro. I'll jump in with a quick one in a second. All right. You know they had Operation Mockingbird back in the
Mhm.
60s or 70s, right?
Which they've
And now
declassified now.
You know,
Right.
they had Operation Mockingbird back in the day.
You're crazy. Also, we declassified it.
Right. But now
Yeah.
they got with Obama did the Smith-Mundt Reformation
Mhm.
Act, which
Mhm.
makes you know, Operation Mockingbird look like a kid's toy on steroids.
Yeah, it
kinda,
makes
you know?
it makes a mockingbird look like two cans on a string.
You believe that
You
the
know.
statement? You believe that the
Yeah.
statement? You know, we'll know when the disinformation campaign is complete when the citizens don't know the
Mhm.
truth from the fiction,
Right.
whatever it was. I forget what it was.
Here we are.
Yeah, that was the director of the CIA said that.
Yeah, but
Or-
when was that?
FBI.
Wasn't it like in the 70s or something?
I
Or
want to say
60s maybe?
early 60s.
Early 60s. Wow.
Disinformation, misinformation. It's just if we can't put our finger on it, then everything's good. We're good. They're good. But as soon as we start learning the truth, as soon as we start figuring out that we have the power, then they're at risk. So I think the disinformation was like their last leg, where they're like, we're running out of time. What can we do? We're just going to dump all the information we can, so they don't know what the hell's going on.
So I think their propaganda works in two ways, kind of like a battery, that positive and negative, because they put their truths in plain sight in movies all the time, like in A Bug's Life, the documentary A Bug's Life, where they say if these ants ever figure out that they outnumber us 10-1, there goes our way
We're
of life.
finished.
And that's, in a kid's movie, that's not there by accident. And so it seems like the opposite of propaganda, when they put they lay out their hand for you to see it, but they just like, oh, it's just a kid's movie. So moving
This whole
along,
karmic retribution
pay no
thing
attention.
really intrigued me. The fact that some say that the spiritual or the satanic ritual is that as long as they tell you what they're doing to you, then there's never going to be a balance out, because they've already explained what's happening. They balance it out for themselves, and they won't have to reap the repercussions from it.
Well,
Oh,
they're
yeah,
betting,
absolutely.
they're betting a
It's
lot
like-
of chips on that approach.
But they must know
devil's got a
something.
knock
Why
on
would
your
they be so
door.
adamant about it?
They might be wrong.
we have spoke about this in some of our podcasts, that they are balancing out. That's why they pray to Baal. Baal is balance.
Oh,
So
shit.
they are balancing their
Mm.
karma. That's why they are always the hand signs and everything they do. Normally the hand signs are mudra from the east.
I didn't think about that.
They're
That's
just-
what the up and down thing is. Wow. It's the as above, so below almost.
Exactly. That's why, because if you see the ball, is polarity.
Mhm.
It's both
It's half
ways.
man, half
Yeah,
woman,
it's doing-
half beast,
Mhm.
half human. Half celestial, half dark. Half animal,
Yeah.
half. It's crazy. That's why what they're doing. That's why they worship Baal. So they are trying to balance out their karma. So when they face the Creator, they don't
believe
go
that.
to hell directly. They might have some. Because as I always say, that in the play field, everything is fair and square. Negative or positive, right? Everything is allowed to manifest at its highest, right?
Mhm.
So that is the reason it's just a frequency that they are praying to, right? Or following, because it keeps them in their track, right? That's why they say everything and do everything and show everything before and after, right?
Mhm.
so they don't have things like car accidents or mishaps. I feel like when I work with the world, when I allow the world to work for me instead of trying to fight what's going on, everything seems to fall in line. It really, I found a way to work with the spiritual world around me so that things are okay. And when bad things happen, it's really easy to deal with, because I know it's like the stock market. I'm going up from here. I already know what's coming next, and it's so much easier when I'm not stuck in a rut, or I'm too happy at a high. It's definitely taught me how the balance works, and to see what's coming next.
That's great.
Oh yeah, you guys want. Go ahead. You guys want to add something before we continue? Dalu, Gene.
No, Mike covered it great. What do you have next for us, Vika?
Whatever I wanted to ask you before about your journey too, a bit.
Well, like I said earlier, I went flat kind of at the beginning of prior to the YouTube kind of explosion of creators and content creators and experimenters and demonstrations and tests. There was only 2 or 3 channels available back then, but point is at the time my wife was working third shift as a nurse, and so I would stay up late because she would call me on her lunch break at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'd talk with her half an hour before I go to bed because I'd be here with the kids. And this one night in particular, I was watching YouTube in the bedroom on the TV, and had just gone down a rabbit hole of, I think I had started off with some turn of the century event videos, some never forget videos, just to brush up. It's nice to say limber with your knowledge. And this was back when YouTube would still suggest, like, hey, if you like this video, check out this video. And I'd click on it, and it turned out to be some Bigfoot VHS to digital transfer of a presentation on a overhead projector at a Holiday Inn in 1982 type video that was an hour and a half long. I have nothing to do till 2 o'clock in the morning, so I would watch stuff like this all the time. And I finished that, and then it says, if you want to see that, the Earth is flat. And I've been having a little bit of a smoke and a little bit of a drink back when I was still drinking, and so I was just happy enough to be like, the Earth is flat. That's the kind of thing I'm into right now. Let's go. Hit click. It was I think it was a 20-minute video by ODD, if I remember correctly, one of his earliest. And I put down my drink and I put down my smoke, because about 4 minutes into the video, I said, that's an interesting question. I never thought about that. And I mentioned I'm a huge nerd, so I have a lot of information readily available in my mental Rolodex. And so as he's asking these questions in real time, I said, that's a good question. I never thought about that. That's actually a really good question. I never thought about that. And so I spent the next 2.5 hours looking for any keywords I could find for other information. If anyone's talking about this, 2 o'clock rolls around. I've been looking at flat Earth videos for the past 3 hours at this point. I've physically felt I physically felt my neural network disconnect, shift, and reconnect inside my head as I was discarding old information and reconnecting. It was like a switchboard operator from the 20s, just unplugging things and plugging things all back in. And I was like, wait, but that would mean that this would have to, but okay, because it would and I went flat in 3.5 hours. I had plenty of stuff to look at and further investigate, but the whole concept resonated so much with me that my wife calls me at 2 o'clock and she's like, hey, I'm on break. And my mind was so flabbergasted that I had nothing to say to her. I was like, oh, hi, babe. Yeah. She's like, what are you doing? Oh, well, so have you ever wondered? No, let me start over. Okay, so listen. Remember how no okay, so you know how, like, when we talk about, listen, have you ever thought, okay, I don't know if I can talk right now, babe. Everything's fine, the girls are fine, I've been looking at something, I don't think I can talk right now. She's like, are you okay? I'm like, yes. And I had to hang up. We couldn't talk because I had to go back to research, and I've never looked back, and I've been flat ever since, just continuing to dig and learn. But the concepts resonated so much that first night that I've been in for a penny and in for a pound since then.
That's
Propaganda.
awesome,
Yeah, I just want to read this real quick. Propaganda is the dissemination of information, facts, arguments, rumors, half-truths, or lies to influence public opinion. Deliberateness and relatively heavy emphasis on manipulation distinguish propaganda from casual conversation or the free and easy exchange of ideas. That's the war is not on drugs. It's the war is on free and easy exchange of ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And they just repeat it. I remember when I was a kid, they used to talk about how, in the future, they're going to have advertisements on everything. They'll have advertisements on cars, and they'll have it just not on billboards and in newspapers. And we couldn't even conceive that, you'll have advertisements in your pocket. And I couldn't even as a kid conceive what that is. And now it's so obvious that it's so easy because they've got us carrying around these phones. And I don't even think it's right to call it a phone. I think that's a real misnomer at this point of calling these things phones. And it's just advertisements constantly. Cable in the 80s brought us the promise of TV without commercials. And that lasted about an hour and a half before they went back on that promise, which comes full circle to every time they tell us something. People say, why are you so willing to believe in this flat earth? We don't believe it. We know it. We research it. You're willing to believe people who lie to you on a regular basis as a matter of practice. That's their default position, is to lie to you, but you continue to defend them when anyone questions it. So it's,
it's like a default mode. They haven't looked into it, but the narrative is right. So like one of my first questions would be, what part of the narrative, what other parts of the narrative is right? And where do you really support that? And think about the 96% of everything they claim everything is, about 4% of it.
Yeah.
With their theories. That's true stuff, guys, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's, and then they cry to us about we're fighting 500 years of indoctrination. It's not so much the people, we all got indoctrinated, but
if some of the history is right, they used to use whips and chains, and now they just use psychology.
Really? Yeah, no, we were all enslaved. I saw something really funny this week on a reel or whatever, and it just struck me so hard that how easily manipulated people are. Because what I saw was a pregnant mom, and you know how like when women like maybe 9 months have twins, they might walk funny, So the woman was walking funny because she was pregnant. She was holding her belly up and just holding it, and she's walking around in the kitchen, and she had a little toddler mimicking her, and it was just like, oh wow. And then you think maybe the orphan trains, what these kids were just trained to do, and how just off schedule we could be within like a single generation possibly.
Bro, the orphan trains remind me of like the Maui buses and this and that.
Wow. And in Brazil now too, right?
Yeah, it's going on everywhere.
That's crazy. Chile, that's it, not Brazil. Sorry. Yep, Chile.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, though.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with that. I haven't heard about.
The media won't cover stuff like this. What
exactly.
What they will cover is CGI moon landings.
Failed moon landings, bro.
With these wild cards. They wait. Oh, we're about to implement some really devastating thing, or the election's about to come up. Let's distract them.
That's true. And that's all litmus IQ tests, bro, because the more people cheering that stuff on, the more they know how much they're going to get away with in the next week and 6 months.
The parrot effect. It's what makes you like think about prison as a school, like a school just being like this way to get all of the people in this room saying, and they're all saying the same thing, so that when they get older, they see something on TV, the other guy sees something on TV. Have you seen, I'm sure, on TikTok or Facebook or the ODD documentary where all of the news stations are saying this exact same script, right? And they're saying it with the same inflection in their voice. They're saying it with the same tone. That's some creepy ass shit. It's
really is.
That could be AI. It looks so AI, right? These people could be just an AI program and saying the same thing. We might be thinking these people are real people, real hosts on the TV, but they might be just AI, and you just need to feed in the text.
Are you guys familiar with the Asch experiment?
I've heard of it. I can't. If once you start talking about it, I'm sure I'll know of it.
Not sure.
It's the experiment that was done back in the 60s, I want to say. 1951. It was 1951. The Asch experiment was where they would have people in a room and they would have two lines on the board, drawn on the board at the front of the room, A and line A and line B, and one line would be noticeably shorter, one would be noticeably longer. Okay. Unbeknownst to the person in the experiment, there's 10 people that go into the room and get certain questions asked. Is this line longer? Or is that line longer? Everyone in the room is in on it except for one person.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they want to test what basically the measure of peer pressure is. And so there he is.
That's a wild and very
everyone in the room would say that line B, which was noticeably shorter, was the longer line. And you could see everyone's answers in this experiment. And so the person would actually, just to fit in, would also agree that what they knew to be true was not true. And it's a powerful illustration of how propaganda and how peer pressure and how they can influence us to do things that we wouldn't normally do. Yeah, that we know are incorrect.
When you put that many people together pointing the finger at you, it's okay. It's comfortable for you to debate one person, but when multiple people enter a room, the intimidation factor kicks in, and it's like a subliminal thing at that point. That's why I say they used to use physical things like whip chains and guns, and now they just use psychology because of how fucking moldable our brains are.
Exactly, because then in that time they didn't have computer work, so they had to work in the quarry and hard physical work. Now the slaves need to do some more
armies
easy work. Now it's
armies
easy
of
slaves.
workers, not armies of killers, but armies of workers they had, and they just use whips that are like, get to work, damn it. Now they can't do that because we would turn on them. America's the last one because we have all the guns, so it's hard to get us to fall in line when we just turn on them. So they have to use psychology. I want to introduce our boy Matt real quick. Matt, if you want to give a quick introduction, welcome to the show. Glad you made it.
Hey, appreciate it. Sorry, I almost didn't make it. Coming to you guys live from Tampa, Florida. Thanks for having me on the show. You guys got to catch me up.
Hey, Matt, welcome.
Good to see you, bro.
Hey, Matt, tell us about yourself, Matt.
Just a lowly truther, just like the rest of you guys.
So you're also part of the THC team
tomorrow.
Yes, I'm part of the THC team.
Awesome.
One of the three hosts, of course.
Excellent. I think we are friends on Facebook.
Yes.
Face looks familiar. Welcome, brother.
And thank you. So we're talking about propaganda. Is that the subject?
I know you want to jump in on this, brother. I know you got a lot to say. So yeah, have at it.
Go ahead.
Well, you got to catch me up to where we're at. So
we're just talking about like the psychology behind it, how they're getting us to all fall in line rather than, like I was just saying, using the analogy that back in the day they would use physical things like weapons, and now the people have the weapons. It's more difficult, so they have to use psychology in order to get into the control part of it.
Oh, absolutely. And then there's also multiple components to the psychology because we have predictive programming and things that they throw in our face in like movies and TV shows that are preparing you for the real situation that's coming. So you think it's fiction, but they're actually familiarizing you with the things that are about to happen. And that's just another level of the propaganda that they're putting on us.
So it's not so shocking when it really happens. We're softened up to the brutality of what they're doing to us, and we think it's we saw it coming. Saw that in the movie.
Yeah, like the solar flares. They were preparing us with that for a little while. I mean, that was going on for about probably like 6 months. They were saying, "Oh yeah, we're at risk for solar flares. Oh look, something just passed by the sun. That's going to put us at more risk."
Yeah, I think the Globers enjoy this panic, that they're gonna, when an asteroid is gonna come and we all gonna die, the floods are gonna come.
Mika, that's one of my favorite memes. He's got a guy like sleeping in bed, and on the right it says, "How I'm gonna be when the asteroid comes." I'm not gonna give a fuck because we know it's fake, and everybody else is like, "Oh my god!" I think they like that drama. It keeps them alive, right? It gives them some kind of purpose.
Definitely.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I think this. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, as he said, it keeps your mind busy. They have you on this this wheel all the time. And so rather than us being excited about the truth and the real nature of this realm, where, you know, any flat earther will tell you, you've spent all your time as a flat earther, you don't talk about the shape of the earth. We're always looking into new things and exploring new ideas. And we've rediscovered this energy and this love for science and for exploration and discovery. And so it invigorates us as people in our personal lives too. And the average Glober doesn't have that anymore. So they have to have this manufactured space and sci-fi and celebrities and idols and music and all these artificial distractions to try and generate that same feeling of wholeness when you're actually using your personal time to benefit yourself. You know what I mean? I think that may be a part of the one aspect of that propaganda. You know, is
I can agree with that. I
to
can
keep that
definitely agree with
psychology, you know, because otherwise people will go crazy. We have to have that
Yeah.
feedback loop in us, you know.
They got nowhere to go. They won't even look at flat Earth. So if they don't listen to that propaganda machine, there's nowhere for them to go, really. You know?
Well, they have to
They're
be on a
lost immediately.
constant emotional roller coaster because, you know, you have to keep the sheep in a perpetual state of panic so they can be herdable. You have to sit there and have them panicking so they don't have time to really think logically and let the reason settle into their brain. So it's like, be angry here, but then be scared over here, and
enjoy
be
it
shocked
over
at this,
here.
and be angry at that. And then it's like their head's spinning because they don't know whether to be mad, afraid, you know. So they're easily told what to do. So because they're in that constant state of panic from 3 or 4 different sides, it's easy to say, "Hey, do this. Wear that mask. Here, inject this shot." Very simple.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what the fuck to do.
And even more, you know, wear the mask, but you know, hate the people that aren't. That was a huge division right there between societies and people.
Well, that's rule 1 of divide and conquer. You got to keep that division going if you want to conquer a people.
True. And you know, all of these, you know, these psyops.
Oh yeah, and you know what's the worst part? Go ahead, Gene. Go ahead.
I was going to say, all of these psyops have multiple levels and areas of what they're going for. There's never just a single idea behind it. You know, there's always different levels and different. You know, this will take a week to happen. This will be 6 weeks, and you know, different timelines, different levels, and different reactions, and you know, gives them different.
That's what I wanted to add, Gene. Like, you know, the propaganda of these people about missions, how many years is already they have been propaganda, like, you know, they're reaching there, they're gonna do this, they're almost there, you know. I don't know how the Globers cannot see the indoctrination, right? It's more than 15, 20 years, right? It's like, hey, we are going. They just get excited for a few months.
2 more years.
Again, you know, another excitement, but nothing is really happening. You know, the same.
2 more years.
The alien people. The same thing with the alien people. You know, the fake space alien people. You know, the same thing. You know, the disclosure is here. The disclosure is here. You know, we are almost there. You know, we are almost there. You know, but the same thing. It's.
But then, you know, when they got these James Webb things and you know, the failed moon missions, they didn't even have any video of that. But look at the video that we do get back. All the CGI, these people are like cheering it on. I'm like, I see that as that's a deep level indoctrination there.
Yeah, how is that remotely acceptable? As
exactly, you're like you're okay with this, you guys? You look at what you're watching. You're okay with this, right? I want to just understand that. You're okay with what you just saw happen with NASA and $80 million a day and what they're able to produce 50 years ago versus today. And I'm like, ooh. And you don't see it's backwards. And they don't see that it's just all been backwards.
Well, if they're nothing else, the Globers should at least demand a little bit of quality control. Because I mean, like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you're really giving us cartoons, and when you guys got the most advanced technology on Earth supposedly for taking pictures and filming, and you give us cartoons? Like, come on, the Globers got to demand more from their controllers.
It's hitting them. It's hitting them, brother. It's hitting them because many people are waking up because.
I was just about to say.
They are so absurd in doing their shit that even the most unintelligent person would wake up, and start getting common sense because of that. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just about to say, like, if you go to any of the actual sites, like let's say CBS Weather is one of the posts I just recently posted. You go and read the comments, not the comments on the post that I posted. CBS's website or CBS's official page. Go read the comments from people that we don't even know in the flat earth community. This little small, tiny flat earth community that we're kind of involved in is so much larger than people that don't use Facebook and aren't, is as involved as we are, so it is extended so far. When you go read these comments, you're blown away at how many people are waking up now. It used to be 1/10 of the people now, and a couple years ago it was 3/10, and now it's like 8/10. I'm struggling to find people that are believing in that at this point, unless they're just not looking, or the people that are just like my father that just won't even listen to a word I say. So, only at that point when you're just so old that your brain is completely welded shut that that you're not going to change your mind.
It really is welded shut, Mike, because it doesn't matter. Just like that video I think I posted my reels a couple days ago. Shit's going like crazy. It's got like 11,000 views already, but it's the one from like 2 years before the moon landing where it's the BBC doing a special report about satellites, and they tell you, has anybody actually seen a satellite? Has anybody seen this? It's like, no, you haven't, but you believe that these are floating around in space, and they tell you straight up that they're going to lie to you and that they're going to be putting these psyops on TV, and that they know people are going to believe it, and that 99-something percentage points of the people are going to believe it, and the other percent work for them.
Even the YouTube influencers that I don't even like watching or listening to, that I scroll past and I block every time I see it because I'm so sick of seeing the propaganda, they're even talking about it. That the UFC fighters are talking about it. People are waking up at a rate that is unstoppable at this point, and it's almost just a waiting game. I'm just sitting back, just kind of very, very just quietly just waiting. There's going to be I've said it before, and it's this pop that's going to happen. At some point in time, there's going to be an explosion of spiritual people, of people just coming into this new themselves, and things are going to change. Our way of life is going to change, but it's also going to cause the pushback. Like whenever the hippie movement started, what happened? The war on marijuana happened.
We're looking for the war on flat Earth.
It's a war on truth, and that's been going on. So when you see the war on the people, it's when they start becoming themselves, when they start becoming powerful in themselves. The government is going to cause these big distractions or these big control aspects and put the 15-minute cities in place. They got the thing in Dubai called The Line, which is basically a prison.
I saw an updated picture on that.
They're doing that in Saudi Arabia as well.
I'm just saying, it's getting bad. They already have 15-minute cities implemented in multiple countries. Like, they're called 15-minute cities. It's not a conspiracy theory name. These are actual strategically planned out neighborhoods. They have underground cities. It's way beyond our capability of thought at this point, where people are just so brainwashed. They don't even care.
Bro, you said
absolutely, brother. Hey, Keith is there. Keith,
hey.
How are you? We see a fire behind you. Are you all right?
Yeah, man, this is my flat Earth fire. We've had a lot of talks out here with people. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun living out here in the country, being able to do this in your backyard or side yard here. And welcome, guys. I don't know any of you guys, but welcome. Aloha from Florida.
What's up, Keith?
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Keith is one of our panelists on our Heliopsychosis podcast. He's also star of the Mechanical Realm.
Excellent.
Yeah, I've been listening. I heard one of you just say it, but one of the big distinctions between Globers and flat earthers is flat earthers are spiritual people. Globers are spiritually dead. I mean, they just don't. It's not that that they won't see flat Earth. It's just that they can't see flat Earth. They're completely blinded.
Sometimes, yeah.
They're blinded to the truth. The darkness that they live in is so dark. Any little bit of light makes them close their eyes. I mean, like that debate you just did, Vika. I mean, McToon can never see the truth. The dude is spiritually dead. He can't. I mean, the debate was pathetic in one sense that every time you said something of substance, all he could do was say, well, I heard a claim. There's a claim, but I don't see no evidence. Of course, you don't see any evidence because you can't see any evidence. So all we can do as truthers is just keep on keeping on and talk to the people who are spiritually hungry or awake, or those who are seeking. When they meet us, they'll be finding some of the things. And not that we have all the answers by any means, but just the fact that we are on a path of a path that where truth matters. I mean, most people, truth doesn't matter. They're happy to watch the Super Bowl. They're happy to watch the next Netflix series. But for some of us, that's just not enough.
God, that's so sad that is
really
what's
is.
happened. They get comfortable in the thing that they're in, the prison of their mind. They get comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's interesting is you could probably talk to someone at a grocery store on Super Bowl Sunday and talk to them about bread and circuses and the irony of how Rome used to do things, and they would agree with you. I would.
They would agree with you. You're like, if you talk about ancient times, and they don't understand the transformation, they just don't see it, right?
And they'll say, "Yeah, no, you know what? It's so true. It's so true." Anyways, I got to get to my brother-in-law's. We're watching the game today. You were that close. You were so close.
So close to figuring it all out.
Hey, big shout out to our brother Matthew for the super chat, brother. And yeah, Keith, as you said, these people really they just want to deny the evidence, and where is your proof? Where is it? But you're not going to see it. If these people could come up with real contra arguments, we are there to give our arguments again. But they don't give you that chance to go to the contra argument because they know they're gonna drop, because they don't have a contra argument. How the hell are you gonna debate against the truth, with a lie? You have to, even if you're prepared, maybe 5 or 10 years, if you're lying, it's lie, right? It's a lie. So
I see that theories have become basis for evidence. When you're using a theory in a debate, the debate is canceled out. It's like we're not debating anything. We're not debating fact at this point. We're discussing things. We're having a philosophy. That's not a debate. We're saying this is my theory because I don't have any proof of it, and I'm over here saying, well, this is my theory because that's not a debate anymore. We're just like two men talking. I don't see it. I just want to see more factual evidence, more people doing experiments because if we're gonna win this battle, I say, we need to prove it.
Hey, give us NASA's budget for one day and see what we can do.
Exactly, brother. But what I mean is the amount of observation, the amount of experiment, and the amount of instruments that I mentioned in that whole debate. If the people add it up, McToon wouldn't have heard that in all his 5 years of debate.
Right.
But you're right. Some of these people, you can slap them in the face with the truth, and they're going to sit there and look for a minute, eyes glazed over, and they're going to come up with a ridiculous question that has nothing to do with the proof that you showed them, and they're going to divert to some other proof that they've taken as a belief that NASA showed them. They're going to pull up a CGI picture, or they're going to say, "What about the satellites?" They're going to say, "What about this?"
And all that is
we deny the fact that we're saying, hey, 75% of the surface area of the world is water, and water is always level. So what is that makes 75% of the earth?
Well, then you have to come up with gymnastics where level doesn't
like,
mean
wait a minute, but NASA and this and that, like, fuck NASA. We're talking about the levelness of water.
And then you know what?
All the measurable.
The other 30% is land. That's all measured and described and observably flat, like over 50-60% of it without mountains and valleys. It's all flat. Tables, shelves, wetlands, grasslands, flat, all over the place. So, and wherever you have somewhere like Kansas, just grab Kansas, 400 miles square, flat. You got to make up the curve that's missing somewhere else now. and it's never, and none of that's ever found. It's
Yeah.
never seen.
Man, you live in Florida. Isn't that the flattest state?
Right.
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah,
said,
well-
Kansas is just complete the flatlands. It's called the Great Plains. The word plain in
Yeah.
geometry means without curve.
Exactly.
You can't get a Glober to explain Lake Tahoe.
Even the
you know,
ocean,
like
even the
fact
ground
that-
on the ocean is described as flat. It's flat here. It's got its bumps, and sure, it's topographical. No, I'm not arguing that, but still, that it's just well over 50-60% of the remaining 30%, which is land, is all flat.
Yep.
But how do they trick us with propaganda? The ball earthers believe in what they're saying because they've seen it so many times in the movies and on their
Right.
phone and in an advertisement and a commercial. It's not their
School.
fault that they're arguing against something they don't know about. They're just unwilling to look into their own belief system. My
Well, the
whole
control psychology,
my
they,
whole
they, they've studied
switchover-
up on this. They
my
know what
whole
they're, they know what they're
switchover was
doing.
when I realized, when I admitted to myself that I knew nothing, that I didn't know anything about what I believed in because I didn't have an answer when I looked into it. After watching ODD's Planet Flat Earth, I said, "Oh, you know what? Well, then let me make sure that that's just retarded. Let me make sure ODD TV is a fucking retard, and go make sure that the Earth's a ball." And sure enough, where are we at?
Let me
Oh,
ask you
yeah.
guys, all you guys, have you ever played Spot the Globe when you're watching any kind of TV, whether
All the
it's
time.
If it's a drinking game, you're going to be drunk real
So-
quick.
you have, what's everyone's top 3 favorite things to look for when you're watching any kind of mainstream media, whether it's Netflix or
Propaganda every time.
commercials, besides globes, what else do you guys spot when you're watching? Be like, oh. Like for example, like we see-
Dinosaurs.
I look for Satan,
Dinosaur.
satanic shit, 666s all the time. I'm always looking for those
Checkerboard
triangles and
board floors.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to mention Illuminati stuff. Like I was watching a show, I think
Yeah.
yesterday, and they mentioned the red shoes in there, and then I'm like,
Hmm.
red leather shoes and stuff like that. And it wasn't even in reference to the popes or anything like that. But then it led to a conversation
Yeah,
about
we-
Illuminati separately. And I was like, oh, okay.
Dolly was looking for the word space, weren't you?
Yeah, but it's like that. The main push that they're doing right now, I notice in all the shows, is suicide. Unfortunately, if you guys notice, a strong that like the subject matter of all TV shows now always lands somewhere in an episode of that. It's unfortunate.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot.
Oh yeah,
of
I wanted to give a quick shout out to Brian Odell for the super chat, brother.
Hey, what's up, Brian?
Hey, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
And other thing I wanted to go through is Mike. I saw you sharing some toroidal field and sacred geometry stuff. What's going on there?
So me and my good buddy over at Flat Earth Farms, sponsor of High Vibrations podcast, Daryl Davis, shout out. We've been trying to come up with a nice design for the electromagnetic field that we believe we are in. And so when you look up electromagnetic frequency, fields, waves, and things like that, you get that amazing design and this like polarity, oppositional polarity, and that's what's happening with the stars. I totally believe we are in a geomagnetic something or other.
Compasses.
Mm-hmm.
Can I show some of those pictures? That'd be cool.
Yeah, man.
Hold on one second. You guys go ahead and talk about something.
Yes, go ahead, brother. Oh yeah, this is the thing. The frequency, vibration, and energy, right? Is one of our favorite subject, right?
Are we
So-
just, is everything that this like everything's just moving and it's like micro to the macro, whatever?
Oh
Is
yeah, go
everything
ahead now. Your
vibrating?
screen sharing. Right now, your screen is on, bro.
All right, yeah. Now this is just a funny one. There's propaganda for you. That just came up as I was joining the show today.
The clocks aren't keeping up.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. I keep a collection of these, and I promise you, hundreds of them, and they just it's like an AI comes up with a new something
For
stupid to say
real.
because I don't get it, but
Just to give them something to talk about at the water cooler, like we were saying before, just to give them something to, hey, did you
just had me
see?
laughing. Shout out Matt Raymond.
Earth spins faster than clocks can count.
So
You know,
look at this. Can you see this right here? You know, like the aerodynamics of what
Yeah.
we use on Earth, whether the gravity or whatever is different, doesn't matter to me. But the aerodynamics of this like riveted old 1991, 1924 like
Concrete mixer.
hunk of metal that would just weigh so much. It's not even made out of like composite or any like new age modern. Like it's just so retarded.
It's got the aerodynamics of a brick, Mike.
Yeah.
That thing is not aerodynamic whatsoever. It just looks like something in the back of an air conditioning company. You know,
That is one thing it looks like.
it's just so retarded. But
Looks
the
like
propaganda,
something else,
propaganda is so bad. I have to make stuff like that. Let's see.
We had another launch here, always up, over, and down splash. We've had 2 or 3 of them just in the last week. So they're yeah, something on the news again tomorrow.
Look, here it is. Look at this. And listen, you gotta listen
We
to
can
this.
confirm, without a doubt, is our equipment is on the surface of the moon, and we are transmitting. So, congratulations, IM team.
Listen to the
We'll see how much
theatrical
more we can get
music
from
and
that.
their stupid ass voices.
Not to mention,
What
I
an
think I
outstanding
heard
effort. I know this was a nail biter, but
earlier
we are on the
clip
on the
was
surface.
the video's
We
not
are
working, but
transmitting.
we assure you our
And,
communication
welcome
and
to the moon.
signal.
Houston, Odysseus has found his new home.
There's no video.
An excellent call, and this is our team of Intuitive Machines mechanics and their families, their
Get it,
friends,
boys!
everyone who has
Sanctuary
sacrificed
is
so
getting this
much
updated point
to make
of,
it this far.
Landed on the moon.
Did he
Like
say our
sheeps.
team of intuitive
How
machines?
about that call, Gary? That was something else, a faint signal. Now it's time to work on refining that signal. But Dr. Tim Crane, our mission director today, making the call. Odysseus has a new home.
A wonderful and truly amazing moment to celebrate.
The U.S. has landed on the moon once again. We're still expecting an image. We expect that to come down sometime in the future,
Fucking liar.
especially as we look towards some high-resolution images.
I just can't.
Wow. That's really rough.
So
It's so bad.
correct me if I'm wrong, but when they showed that overhead shot of that room full of people, did he say our team of intuitive machines? Like, I want to thank our team of intuitive machines. Is
That's
that
the
like
company. So look, they get a company that lands something on the moon who you've never heard of, who's never fucking done anything in outer space ever before that we've known of, and all of a
Right.
sudden, what their first feat, their very first thing is that they're on national television landing some shit on the moon? Just get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. With a NASA payload, no less.
But anyway, going back to what we were trying to
good
find,
work if you can get it?
the symbols, Vika, is through the trying to find more images of that geomagnetic field that I was talking about. I come across the flower of life, and so what that is a symbol that I guess we've all been trying to figure out is the fabric of everything. I don't know, but all of these
Exactly.
symbols, you see how similar?
Yeah,
they
go
are?
ahead.
But it just
Exactly. It's
wild.
it's the stamp of the divine, brother. It's the sacred geometry. It's the perfection. It's the precision, right? Even from
Right.
the level of atom, we have that electromagnetic field, that toroidal field. From the level of atom to the whole creation itself is a toroidal field,
And you see
right?
these,
And we
toroid- you see
ourselves,
these.
It's repeating.
exactly,
all
and
over the
we
place.
ourselves are toroidal fields too,
Right.
So that's why it resonates, right?
Oh
That-
man, my truth bumps are going crazy.
And that's, resonates 3 feet around us. That's where 6 feet comes from.
Oh yeah, brother. This is the beauty of our creator, that they don't want us to see, right? This is demonized by many people, and they don't want to see. They're heliocentric. Amazing. Look at this. It's amazing. It's beautiful,
Beautiful, right?
right?
It's
Yeah.
beautiful. But
It's
you can
living.
see how it might look like a globe, right? Well, there's a magnetic field. Like when you have a magnet in your hand and you touch metal to it, you're actually feeling a force field. So this Star Wars crap, and to think that it's fake, like you have real force fields that you have in your very room right now. So it's not unimaginable that this could be the way it is.
Oh yeah, and the ancients, like the ancients,
here,
like put this out for us, you know, in symbols.
Old secret. 6,000 years, mankind has been trying to decipher this one little thing called the flower of life. Now, you know, this is one of the oldest symbols in human history, right? This symbol was found in the Temple of Osiris in Egypt, and it had been molecularly burned into the wall. It's 6,000 years old. This same symbol has been found in the forbidden temples in China.
So the flower of life, it all comes together to me.
Oh yeah. I'm here wearing a pendant of shungite, which has a print of flower of life.
And that's what made me find the Boyd's battery too, is that it is all circular, and like it's because of the metals on Earth that cause this geomagnetic plane we're on. Like this one.
Oh yeah. That one, I think I saw that one. That's amazing. Yeah, it's almost like even the luminaries is supposed to move like this, right? You know, in an
opposite polar effect, right? So you have the polar opposites, and the geomagnetic whatever is happening rotate in a opposite way. You have different what they're going to tell you is different hemispheres.
Exactly, and it's the beauty of the creation that it's so precise and so perfect, right? So beautiful, like somebody said
like a flower
in the chat.
Like
yeah, the Fibonacci sequence, right? Yeah.
You guys want to see something funny? This was on the moon.
Yeah, if you ask them how they took it there, yeah, it's crazy.
There we go. Thanks for
Matt, where were you?
I had to go use the bathroom. I didn't know how to turn just the camera off for a second. Sorry about that.
What do you think, Gene? Have you seen those before?
Yeah, I have. I love that shungite necklace. That's great for trying to deflect some of the radiation off you. I had a bracelet that was made out of shungite, but
it's called a healing amulet. And one of our good friends who was a speaker at Flat Earth Convention in Vegas, Ben Balderson, did a presentation at the convention on the Boyd's battery. So I want to get him on the show and talk about all that. It's really interesting stuff with this electric current.
It would, because I could only follow about half of what he was getting into in that presentation. I would love to hear from him again.
He gets deep.
It was deep. Yeah, he was into it. I was like, wow.
He goes in.
I love sacred geometry and the old world's technology and symbolism and all that stuff. Find it
like the windows in the cathedrals.
You just show your coin, dollar.
Yep, the windows, the shapes of them, all for the vibrations, the bells. The old world is completely fascinating.
Yeah, man, it really is. And then you send the right vibration with the organs through those kymatics in the stone. It was like, I think it was more like a preventative healing center for humanity back in the day.
It may have been. What would be interesting is to set up some experiments, maybe with plants or with rice, like with the rice experiment, where you can label them with emotions for Emoto's work that he did on water and rice. Maybe there's a way to set up an experiment to do some acoustic experiments on maybe plants or some kind of organic material with different climatic patterns. We could 3D print them out of any kind of material, or maybe certain materials will have a better result, or maybe some will have no measurable result, depending on if you're using stone, wood, what kind of stone, copper, any metals. I mean, there could be a whole bunch of research that could be done about that. Maybe it goes nowhere. Maybe it turns into something.
Yeah, copper's
Right.
supposed to have a lot of good properties to it, especially for growing plants and different things. I've seen people put copper in with in the soil with their plants, and then they grow a lot better. I've tried to switch a lot of the stuff I drink
Grounding.
meat with copper, like copper,
Grounding.
cups and copper, spoons and things like that.
Put
Okay.
copper connected to your like bed and shit.
Nice,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I
Is
got
that
one of
metal
those
all
sheets.
copper, Vika?
It will make me
Yeah,
grab
I
my
have one of
coffee.
those sheets you lay on that's plugged into the ground.
Vika, you're muted.
The whole shoe conspiracy gets me because, like, like we're supposed to have our feet connected to the ground and the energies, the earth. If the earth is a geomagnetic, then it is a battery, obviously. And there's been experiments conducted that show that the earth has energy coming. So it's like, should everybody just take their friggin' shoes off? Yeah, I think so.
They probably should.
Yeah,
Yeah, the rubber
it charges
skin
us back
soles
up.
are meant to be
This
an
is-
insulator to keep you from connecting to the earth.
I'm barefoot as
This is-
often as possible. I'm barefoot right now.
Oh yeah, this is what they do. They tell you what is the opposite, right? As I showed just now, the copper, as Matt was commenting about the copper, it really energizes your water. Put electric in the water, right? And they are telling us everyone to take out their pipelines of copper because it's bad. They don't want people to heal themselves. So the same way with the shoes and with the grounding. Even 10 minutes a day would in the grass, if you have, it would help. It's an instant effect, anti-inflammatory, antiviral, antibacterial, everything is just passing through. It's like cleaning your whole energy body, right? We not only have our physical body, right? As we spoke about, this toroidal field within us could go up to 6 feet, as Gene said, right? So it's important to have that also in the right flow, or the energy centers. If I say chakra, the people get upset, but if I say energy chakras, it's all good, but in the end, it's important for us, and even the sky is important for us, and all these luminaries are important for us. This magnetic field, what we are speaking, is important for us, right? For us to be in harmony, all this to work for us. This sacred geometry, right? How the life evolves in this sacred geometry, right? It's telling us the answer of what we live, where we live, what we are. But the people are so indoctrinated, they want to be in this sci-fi world. But if people want to see the truth, it's right there. It's right
So,
there.
Vika,
What I-
speaking of vibration and vibration numbers like and truths in plain sight, can I show you something on my coin that I think you might
Oh, yeah.
appreciate?
Oh yeah, brother, absolutely.
So I designed this with different what I call truths in plain sight, or tips, like I said before. And on the back, I have an astrolabe. Okay.
Nice.
Now the hands
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
astrolabe here, here, and here are set at
Yeah.
2, 8, and 27 seconds. So when you multiply 2 times 8 times 27, you get 432 for 432 hertz for the healing
It's
frequency.
the frequency. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
so
Awesome.
I have that encoded in the design of the coin. It's in plain sight, but you have to know how to decode it to see that.
Nice.
That's one of 5 different. Yeah, that's the front of it.
And that's one of the reasons why I asked
Oh,
Oliver to join
yeah.
us. Is he had that creative mind, and he's working on another level right now. And that's what happens to people who wake up. You become something else, and you start to, instead of download constantly and watching the TV and becoming a mindless zombie, you start to upload and have a part in this world and have a participation in what's going on in your reality. And so we've been very lucky to have Dalu, and I love that he's got that coin going. So if you guys want to check it out, if anybody wants to go grab one for themselves, where can they find one, Dalu?
Yeah. What's
Oh
that
yeah,
made
go
of,
ahead
too?
and
Oh, it's easy. It's
Come on,
flat
go
earth,
ahead and
flatearthcoins.com.
What's it made of?
It's made of zinc, 100% zinc.
Nice.
Mhm.
That's great.
oh yeah.
Flat
Yeah.
Earth
Oh yeah, as
Coins-
you say, Mike.
FlatEarthCoins.com.
Everybody
That's great.
that you have to give now. People have to give in instead of taking the bullshit. We need to give in, and right.
Create.
All the minds are important. Yep.
It's you're either doing one of two things, or you're either downloading or you're uploading at any given time, And when you're sitting there watching the TV or you're just scrolling away on TikTok, you're downloading, and it's not productive. It's not worthy. It's just not. And so when you go out and create and you're helping people, when you get involved with the community and you go to, help children in your community, do whatever you can, do something positive for the world, plant a tree, I don't care, but just make sure that you're producing productivity and not just wasting away with your 9 to 5 and just becoming part of the stupid cog system that we have. Don't be, don't be lame.
Well, human beings, in my opinion, were meant to create. We generate ideas, we generate energy. When we are around like minds, the energy multiplies itself. And, that kind of comes back around again, as always, to how propaganda keeps that repressed down in people. And the happiest people are never the richest people. The happiest people are the people that are doing what makes them feel like they're creating something that's important to them. Whether it's, some people are into gardening, some people are into thrill sports, some people are into the people who feel good about what they're doing. It's rarely associated with what they do for work. It's what they do in their personal time that people really express who they are and what's important to them. And I think Flat Earth brings that out in people in so many different ways. I see so many backyard gardening and off-grid living ideas from the Flat Earth community. It just, proves it to me that.
Oh yeah, brother! I've been living 10 years off-grid already, brother. Soon you're gonna be listening to some chickens now. They're strange chicken. At 3 they start.
That's amazing.
That's going crazy.
10 years and you've been doing it 10 years. That's amazing.
Nice.
And you have electricity and the internet still.
Everything DIY, everything put by me, right? I have everything now, right? So
amazing.
It started with very difficult times, but it's slowly working on it. You got comfortable. Yeah, but as I mentioned also in some podcasts, when I came here, there was not even a blade of grass, and now I have a forest around me.
And you made it all.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All kinds of exotic fruits and stuff. He's got a really great place over there, guys.
Really? So that's where CMG is at. Also, I love the environment that he shows, like all the mountains and the beautiful landscapes. It looks beautiful.
CMG is in the north. And I'm in the south.
Oh.
Yeah, we are quite far. If no, we would have already met and done something for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Very cool. And I love to hear, that's another thing. I love that it's not just congregated in one area, that we can reach out and get another country's views. Like, when we had Haley on the show all the time, it was great hearing what they're doing in Australia, and you're over there in Spain. And it's always, like I said, before the show started, it's that every country has that propaganda machine, and it's just how much fuel they're pushing into it. How fast is theirs going to control the people?
So what do you think this Odysseus is distracting us from right now? Do you think it's because of an election year, or is there?
No, we're getting invaded. We're being invaded at our southern border. They just brought in the National Guard to Texas. No one's talking about it.
Yeah, there was already reported that we have 20 million new people in this country.
And guess who they're going to vote for?
2020. Well, the thing about it is, I was talking to somebody else about this the other day. You have these migrants that are coming here and they're getting shipped to anywhere they want, and nobody's keeping track of where they're going, but they're all given IDs and everything else. So they're going to get voter registration cards. So where would they mail the ballots at? They won't mail them anywhere. They'll keep them and they'll rubber stamp who they want.
They're not going to be able to keep track of these people. They didn't get any information and validate anything on the way in. They can just say they're fucking Joe Schmo. It's really bad right now.
They can rubber stamp whoever they want to stay in office.
It's coming in from the north also, that they don't talk.
They opened up the borders on purpose, and Biden has all these new people that say Biden's the man because they just gave them access to the free country.
Well, here's the other thing. My question is, why is it all fighting age males? Because you could just as easily get a female's, registration card if it's the same age. Why specifically all, 18 to 25
military
male
guys?
Military available. Yeah,
Yep,
and
exactly.
and they're not, and like you say, like they're just giving out bonuses and things to these immigrants that they're not offering to U.S. citizens. They have camps and stuff set up in New York.
Or veterans.
I think there's something in
Well,
Manhattan.
there's a whole
or something-
benefits
or up
package that
there.
goes along with it. ID, they get a monthly income for a certain amount of months. They get a
Right.
hotel voucher. They get food
Yeah.
stamps. You know, it's ridiculous.
And then
Well,
and you've
a
got
single
homeless
mom with
U.S.
3
veterans
kids is
sleeping on the
struggling.
streets next to them. It's wild the way we treat our own citizens versus but it's all a setup. It's an agenda.
Hey.
It has nothing to do with anything. It's not that they accidentally let these people in. It's on purpose, you know.
Well, because they can't afford for the power structure to change. They have that 2030 agenda that they're moving full speed ahead with, and they know if they get like a Trump or somebody in there, that'll delay the process. So they can't take any chances. So that's why there was a margin of 10 million votes that, and arguably that was, you know, a questionable election in 2020. It was won by 10 million votes. So they knew that was the margin. This time they realized there's more people that are angry are going to vote against it. So that's why the number was 20 million as far as the illegal immigrants. They want to squash a fly with a sledgehammer.
Yeah. It's
All
tough to
right,
watch.
guys. I'm gonna give a shout out to one of our brother of FE Nation. Thank you, brother, for the membership.
What's up, bro?
Where have you been? So yeah, where else we can go apart from those things?
Well, I just say like this is why I have the Truthers Hour of Comedies, because I think like once you see all of it and then you kind of like, where do I go from here? Well, how do I deal with it all, and what do I do? You know, that's like, what's that next step? You know, like Dalu said, he was calling his wife and he's freaking out about how am I even gonna present the facts that I found? How am I going to even talk to her about this? So it's like I make fun of it all now. It's just such a joke to me, and I love life so much. Life is so beautiful that I don't have time to be in fear. I've got 3 daughters and a beautiful wife at home, and you know we've got more fun things to do than to be worried about what's coming next. So
Definitely got to laugh it off. That's definitely
laughter
one
is
thing
so
you got to one level you got to get to once you've realized the truth is you got to get your anxiety down from your natural want to panic, because you realize how fucked up shit really is. So the way to really deal with it, like Mike said, you got to be funny. You got to laugh about it. You got to make jokes. We got to develop memes, and also that helps to spread the truth as well.
It's helping spread the truth at such a rate. We are fighting $1 trillion, advertising corporation with memes, and we're winning.
Well, Mike said something I think that's really important. Where he said
we're better than them.
Go ahead, Gene. Yeah.
We're better than these creeps that are running this campaign against us all. Yeah.
I think, because we're not making decisions based in fear. You know, when people make decisions based in fear, we make short-term decisions. We're not thinking with the long-term, rational mind. We're just in that fight or flight mode.
The reactive mode instead of long-term, well thought out.
And when they keep people in that
when
mode,
you can be calm, when you make your decision in a calm, well-minded, well-balanced, thought process, not like you're always in stress mode and you're always in go mode because you're a stupid 9 to 5 and you don't got time for your family and you got to fill the car with gas and you only got $20 in your pocket. It's like
that's how it can change everything. How everything can change.
The other reason why we're winning is the powers that be are one trick pony. You know what I mean? We know what they're trying to do. They're trying to control. That's all they do. That's the only job they got. And they bring it to you with many faces. Once you realize, how to identify it, you know all the faces. You immediately know when that face shows up that's somebody's is with some bullshit. That's just part of the machine trying to control you.
Yeah. You think about, we just did the Super Bowl, right? Think about when groups like what we got right here in the chat, and all of us get together in stadium-sized arenas, and think about when the tides turn like that, guys. That's how I picture things, man. Because it's getting out of hand, Doesn't.
As long as as long as they have the people in the rat race, like totally messed, it's very difficult that the people are gonna wake up, right? So
Imagine what a stadium full of people, if they could divert their attention. Look at all the stats those people know and have all that information clogging up their head for what, right? For what?
Because they know they're smart, and if they didn't have minds full of that stuff, they could fill it with something actually useful and beneficial to them.
Exactly, bro. That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, but we're handed all these
It bothers
these
me.
fake things. The competition runs half of this stuff. You know, you want to have a better car than this guy and a bigger house and all that. You know. So,
All right, guys.
very
The podcast is called High Vibration. We have to speak about stuff with higher vibration, right? I'm gonna change that vibration by asking Mike. Mike, how many % do you think flat earthers are reefers?
Oh, it's a lot, because that's so funny. When I was growing up, I had the mindset that cannabis was so bad that nobody did it, and that if I liked it, I'm gonna be the only person, everyone's gonna hate me. And then come to find out, my best friend's dad's got some in his drawer, and the teacher's got some, and everybody's smoking. So it's like, reefer is the healing of the nation. I can't, and that's what the truth is too. So they go great together.
Yeah, it was a 110-year propaganda campaign to keep that as a Schedule I drug, which means it has no medicinal purpose. Right?
Nah, lies.
But then they peddle you pills.
And the industries that would be compromised tomorrow, if put in the right hands, steel, paper, textile,
cherry popper,
medicine, alcohol, tobacco, all of it,
100%.
mental problems.
It's a powerful plant. It could that plant alone can raise the vibration of the whole realm in many ways.
And Bob Marley's campaign wasn't about marijuana. It was about the healing of the nation through music, through spiritual cannabis use. It's like, a lot of people think that when you see the reggae symbol or it just means to recreationally smoke pot. I mean, it is so much farther beyond that for me, because we're out here changing lives. We're healing people. And for me, it got me out of that. Like I said, I was a really bad alcoholic, and it turned me into a natural way and a spiritual, holistic. It got me in a different side of the world. And I love nature. I've been able to connect with animals and have experiences that I would never give back if it wasn't for cannabis and flat earth and the truth. I love it.
And that connection with yourself, bro, that's when you talk, that internal conversation just changes within yourself. And when you talk to the universe starts to talk back, and you recognize it, and it recognizes you, and
that's wild.
Fucking things change, bro, and that's awesome, man. I love.
I think one thing looks. Oh yeah, and the one thing is for sure that the Globers don't use the reefer a lot, because if they really did, they had to be sometime looking and saying, why this water is not bending, the sun don't look so far.
Show me a Glober that's so deep. You're right. It makes you ask questions. It makes you ponder shit. It goes deep. It makes you think.
And the paranoia aspect too, a little bit. Be like, I don't think that they're telling me the right thing. Why are they saying that? They've been saying that for 50 years. I don't think this guy. I don't trust this guy.
Now I need to make a peanut
Also,
butter.
the flip side of that too, because there's some Glober stoners out there that are really, blown away at those NASA pictures, because they look like freaking abstract.
That's true.
You're like,
whoa, look at that.
Yeah.
It's Saturn. Look at the memes, bro.
I mean,
oh yeah, the space. Yeah, they love the space, right?
Yeah, they love
they
the
use
space.
it with
We're talking about that. Like, wait a minute, flat Earth. What about NASA, dude? You don't want to overload them when they're smoking the pot.
Oh yeah, I think the people don't know that the flat Earth truth is more amazing than their sci-fi fiction, right? Because as I mentioned in some of the podcasts,
hardest to tell somebody. How do you convince somebody of that though?
But this is the thing, even if we start from the north, the Hyperborea, the North Pole, so many different races are supposed to be lived there according to many civilizations and ancient scriptures and texts, and all these different beings like Yeti and Sasquatch and giants, and it's all it's more starting from the North Pole to all the way all around, spreading in extra lands and all. So many different civilizations, subterranean lands, higher, so there's much more vast. The space of the flat earth physical space is so vast, like according to some cosmologies, even our brain couldn't grasp it. How far is it? So imagine how many kind of species or humanoids or ETs or aliens or hybrids could live in different places, right? If I say that I have visited or seen, people won't believe me, right? But I'm just saying, it's crazy. It's the fabric, the frequency. Not everybody can see through different frequency, and everything exists all around us. All the different they speak about in different culture about goblins and dwarfs and all kind of pixies and all kind of different beings in the forest, and they all are right there. It's just we are on their frequency and we can see them, right? So just even these are the frequency one, but then you have the physical land, physical civilization, humanoid or hybrids. So much is possible, right? In even subterranean world they speak about. For example, in the Vedic, the first subterranean world is called Atala. Atala. So Atala, the Atalantes come from there. For example, right? The Shambhala, the Asgard, so many different mysterious places, are supposed to be around us, right? Below us, above us, right? So it's much more. I think the sci-fi, they have taken all this, they have taken and put into the sci-fi context in fake space, right? All this is in our cosmology, in our extra land. Is possible to explore and meet these beings. It's somewhere probable, but in their fake space, it's zero possible. You cannot even go more than 30,000 feet.
Well, that's the purpose of it. That's the purpose of it. They want it to be impossible, so you don't want to go find it for yourself. But lately, what you're talking about, I've been trying to find common ground with people, and like aliens is a good common ground. It's like, which is more believable for you, that they came from some impossible, distance 52 gazillion miles away, some impossible number that you can't even put into a calculator, or did they come maybe 10,000, 20,000 miles away? I try to put it in simple terms for you. You really believe these people made a contraption that traveled, 9,200 billion gazillion miles away, or did they make it on a few tanks of gas for 10,000 miles?
Right.
Yeah. Or that the battery can last in the cold of space for 50, 60 years, no problem.
You think these people are traveling for 200 years?
Yeah. Or that it's much closer and, they're in contact in different ways. Yeah.
The etymology of the word extraterrestrial is extra terra, the extra land. And when you start breaking down these old words, you start to see the meaning and the truth about what it means. So, when you put it all together, you start connecting the dots, you never come to a dead end. Go ahead, Gene,
what blows my mind, dude, is you could tell it, like, just take a random person and take another random person you see on the street and say, hey, that person came from Mars, and they'll laugh at you, right? They'll be like, "What the fuck? Like, there's no possible way a person got from Mars." But you believe NASA when they say they went there. You know what I mean? You believe that shit, right? But you would believe me if I said, "Hey, that guy came from Europe." But okay, why? Why would you believe that? Because it's possible from in the realm of truth that you've been exposed to.
Rovers on Mars. There's no people that didn't fly here from Mars because we have robots on Mars now.
Yeah. Just saying. Just a silly example.
Mike, what's that Shambhala warrior prophecy? What? Tell us.
That is another thing that woke me up during my little wake up process. It speaks of the duality that the forces of evil and good run through the hearts of all of us, and the spiritual world comes into effect when you create. We can all say, "Oh, I want to make a chair today," and you can say that for 50 years. Or if I make a chair, I brought the spiritual world into the physical world. So the Shambhala warrior prophecy is that there's these people, this rare, breed of people that wake up and see through the light, and that we're going to fight these evil forces, not necessarily evil forces, but these people who are trying to control and lock us in a cage in our minds. So the prophecy is that now is the time. Like at some time, it is like I had said before, there will be that pop where everybody kind of spiritually wakes up. And I don't mean religiously. I don't mean like you have to necessarily understand God or, be a Buddhist. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying like you start to figure out who you are and how special you really are. That's what I mean by spiritual. And once that pop happens, that's the Shambhala warrior prophecy, basically, is that everyone's going to wake up to this corruption.
Exactly. And like also in the Eastern culture, they say about Shambhala and these places, they are said in that sense, like, that only once you reach some point, you will get the access, right, to this, which could be just around us, right? And like equally as they say, getting nirvana in a way, right? So yeah, it's true, because in the end, the spirituality, it's all about us, right? As center of the universe, of every creation, right? We all are. We create our
universe is one verse, one word, and it's like it's like the journey ends.
Exactly.
What I think fake space does for the elite is that it brings you to what is the farthest place that you can physically be from your body? Not Mars. What's past that? Just space itself. Just thinking about space now has lifted your mind into a place that is the farthest away from your spiritual self. You're in some fake imagination land when you could do the journey is inward. Figure out who you are, why you're here, what your purpose is, and how special you are. That's where it is. They want you to not think about that.
That's an interesting perspective. So it's just a big distraction to take you away from yourself.
From yourself. They're hiding yourself from yourself.
Focused on the outer instead
the
of the
universe is one word which you speak. You're the only one that can talk, and have thoughts. Your thoughts is the verse, really. You're the one thing. And we all share the same thing. This race thing, and that's all based on the what is it, the melanin in your skin, based on your heritage distance from the equator. And they all want us to be fighting each other when we're all brothers and sisters. In my opinion.
So true.
Oh yeah, because there's some say that we all are like, all the different races are like, we have our own creators and are controlling, like, and they're like showing off their creation to each other, and we are freaking all fighting.
And they say, well,
each
why is
other.
Chinese people's eyes squinted and this and that, and everything has to do with your environment, your diet, the animals, the other biology around you. Like, there's so many other variables that over time, yes, evolution does occur, but just not in the way they make you think it does, that we come from a pool of sludge.
Well, at this point in my life, I don't really have a clue where the different races come from. Once I discovered the resets, and I found out, it seems like that there was groups of people or controllers that played with our DNA. All bets are off at this point, at least where I'm at.
And they're doing that now with the cloning and all. Who knows what's going on? It's scary.
Orphan
times.
trains, repopulating Earth in the 1800s. The fact that we can only use 5% of our brains, and maybe people before us could use more. Who knows?
Maybe. You know what I think? If you guys seen The Mechanical Realm, it talks about the Antikythera mechanism being.
Oh, I love that thing.
Yeah, a system of gears that perfectly replicate then and today and tomorrow. Everything's going on in the sky, like to perfection, right? They can't replicate it today, and they have a hard time. But they can't get the precision in a watch today that they had back then
with the Antikythera device. Yeah.
So it makes me, after we did the documentary, and it sits in your mind when you dive into something like that. But if they had 33 gear system of replicating, the whole entire solar system, we'll say, with everything in the sky, it doesn't make sense that somebody didn't walk away with that. And there's a breakaway civilization that's like 1,400 years more advanced than us.
100%.
Right. So what does that mean, right? As where we are now, we're going, watch 20 years. But the thing is, they're turning us into the Flintstones while we think we're the Jetsons.
Ooh,
I like that.
all
They
right.
just discovered
All right,
fiber
Gene.
optic lines under the ocean that were like, I think 7, 8, 10,000 years old. Did you guys see
No, but
that?
did you see the documentary, The Mechanical Realm? Did you guys see it?
I have not seen it.
I have not seen it. No.
Cool.
Where
You're
can I
gonna
see
like
it?
it, guys. You get
Where
a
can I
chance
see it?
when you do.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it.
On
ASAP.
on my channel here, on this same channel.
Okay.
Okay, definitely gonna check it out.
Oh, you guys are flat earthers, right?
Yeah.
They
I'm
wouldn't
in
be
You
on
guys
my
seem to-
channel. They would- Ah.
I doubt.
There's a little
Right?
glare on my map, but flat to the core.
So it's a model of our flat Earth.
Yeah, I've
the
got the big
documentary.
clear infinity map from the NOS Confunded back there.
Here you go. I got something real quick.
Oh yeah. So
Share that up real quick.
yep.
Okay.
Wait, did that go?
Is this the trailer?
But unfortunately, it's a very common effect used on the human mind. Modern mainstream scientists like Neil deGrasse Tyson, Stephen Hawking, Bill Nye, etc., that there is a debate to be had with the flat Earth community. The flat Earth community is portrayed by
One of the artifacts looks like a strange.
Sorry, I thought that was I thought it was a preview. Tell me about the mechanical realm.
So none of you are Mike, you saw it, right? Or no?
No, I haven't seen it.
So you guys have to check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see this.
Interested now.
You can
What?
find it
Yeah.
in my channel. You can find it on the David Weiss app. It's a working model of our geocentric stationary
Oh,
realm.
really?
I can't believe
The
I'm
Antikythera-
hearing about this for the first time.
The Antikythera
Oh, yeah.
mechanism.
How am I not
Yeah.
know
You're gonna love it.
Yeah, I spoke about it on the debate in the end a little bit, but yeah.
Like
I
you
haven't
said
had
in
a
the beginning,
chance
we
to
all
watch
got
the debate
live,
yet
man.
either.
It's like I can't stick around for every. I can get in the chats and I'll give it 5-10 minutes and then I'm off to the next one and I'm saying hello. You know, my life would get so eaten up if I went to every fucking chat.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't, and I used to when I was first getting into it. That's all I did, right? I'm like, oh my god, I love this shit so much. Flowbusters is my favorite.
Yep.
Yeah. But now I just I'll do other shit.
I think I got the trolls scared. They were really popping up on my posts, and I haven't seen a troll in like 3 weeks. I think I obliterated all of them on my
What
posts.
happens? That's what happens. They don't stick around.
Yeah, it starts dropping off when they run out of questions.
You
They
gotta
run
stay
out of
strong.
answers.
Well, what they were doing is they were
can't
tagging
rebuttal, right?
groups. They were tagging troll groups, and then I'd have to deal with like one after another. And after I like slayed about like 13 trolls per post, now everything's all quiet on the Western Front.
Nice.
Hey, I
So,
wanted
no,
to
it's
give
one
a.
It's one thing to have people that are willing to exchange in a conversation, but it's a different thing to have people like just dropping stupid bombs on everybody and being like more of a nuisance.
Throwing up the bat signal and getting more people to jump in. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. And then they start attacking you.
If you're in the chat and you haven't seen Mechanical Realm, I'm gonna tag the link there.
Oh yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Iron Effie that he's in the chat. Hey brother.
Always good to do shout out to everybody that I see over on my channel as well. Good to see everybody.
So Iron Effie, so I saw your simulation. They're amazing. And I don't know if you have seen the Mechanical Realm too. And that's the physical gear machine doing the same thing. So it would be great to have a chat with you about that, and trying to combine the two simulation with reality and create something, So let me know how we can get contact. Iron Effie. Yep.
Very cool.
Ooh, Vika's muted.
Yeah.
Truth is Our Comedy in the chat. What's up, guys? Queen M, Stephanie McGuire, Julia Ron, Dr. Frankenstein is always here. What's up, brother? Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. It's really great to see you all. You know, it always is. Thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you spending your time. Life is a busy place, and it's really good to be hanging out with all you guys. And you guys here too, man. Like we say, it took a while to get you guys all together, but we did it, and this is a great show, man. Really loving it.
I love talking about this stuff, and we're glad to be on. More exposure is great. It keeps spreading the truth. It's the best.
Yeah, you know, there's always room to learn more about it too, and how to speak to these people about where they're wrong and you know, defend our cause better. We don't have all the answers. I know I don't, man. So it's a great journey.
That's the best thing someone can say, though.
Excellent crowd, you know, like you're saying, it opens up a different world of understanding and compassion and brotherhood and sisterhood that, you know, fucking schools never taught us anything like that. They teach us competition, division, flags, football, and garbage, you know?
Well, now we actually have a real team we can get behind, the Flat Earth team.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I strive
Flat
for
Earth team, right?
Now we got a team we can root for, and everybody can get together.
It's such a plague on man.
You know, it's one big team. With no, you know, there's no competition here, really. You know,
it really isn't.
So, does anyone have predictions for some predictive programming or propaganda that we might be able to expect, or any predictions for the rest of this year leading up to the election?
I'm not liking that the solar flare already happened. That makes me think they're going to try to push to destroy the power grid for a little bit sooner than we probably thought.
Do you think that this is the year? Do you think it's too soon still for the alien invasion?
I was thinking aliens might be getting a little bit pumped up.
The alien invasion already happened, but no one saw it, right?
They went to the mall.
Yeah, so they got to do it again.
They were shopping at the mall.
Well, I think that was just like the Murder Hornets run. It didn't create enough fear, so they just dropped it. So, but it's always going to be in the cards, so they're probably going to try again. And if it doesn't
bring it out again,
scared, then they'll run with it. If not, then they'll probably drop it again.
Oh yeah, they're gonna come with like a stronger one, and where they're gonna do some damage, like real damage, so that the people get scared and think maybe it's real. For sure, that is.
They're not building underground cities for nothing, man. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah,
something's coming. And if
well,
you're not
I mean, it could be World War III though.
If you're not prepared, it's going to be bad. I think people that are drying and canning food and growing gardens in their backyard are doing the right thing right now.
Gardening's not easy either, guys. You know, that's a lifelong learning process. It's just, you know, you miss something, your crop dies, a fucking deer comes and swipes you, whatever it is, you're done. It's over for the year. It's not,
especially if you rely on that and you can't go to the local grocery store, right?
Right. You gotta be on your game.
Oh yeah,
and
you know what is,
and you gotta have a community. Go ahead, Vika. Sorry.
No, go ahead, bro.
I was just gonna say that's another reason why it's so important to have community when we're getting into growing our own food and stuff. People that specialize in crops, or people you can reach out to troubleshoot, you know, issues you might be having and things like that. That's all.
There it is.
Oh,
be cool if we could
that's
get
something they kept from us too. You know,
The Amish communities.
not a lot of that around. Not enough
It'd be
of
cool
it
if we
like
could
it
get
was.
like a flatter, a truth or foundation together where we, put some money together or get donations from the whole community and maybe
this is
like a
the
fail-safe
thing.
land or something like that, or have like a crop.
You know what is the best thing to start? I've said this from many years, and I'm gonna say it again, that the first thing that is need to do is get legalize, right? An organization, right? Once you make a legal organization, non-profit, legal organization, this is where the news, the politicians, the institutes, they shit in their pants. When a legal organization go, no matter what is your organization, right? That's why the people who are getting away with all the shit is because they just have a paper that they belong to a collective, which is fucking freaking registered. Okay, because I know how things work. I manage here 5 collectives.
Mhm.
You know, 5 collectives. I know how it works. So I've always had that idea. I have an association called World Flat Earth Association. Why? Because that word association screws everybody
Mhm.
big time. You know, because when you have a real organization where there are serious people, then it can grow. You know, it needs a structure, it needs its strategy, like its principles, its rules and regulation. You know, you need people to represent the the type, you know, a president, the secretary. You know, you need few people to start, the ones
Mhm.
who are the
Mhm.
directives, and then from there you have the members, and then the members
Mhm.
can grow, everybody can collaborate, and then starts projects, right? But the
Mhm.
important is starts from a paper. These controllers, they love paper,
And
right?
words,
Show
Yeah,
them
you
paper
have to
word.
sign
Yeah,
away from that. You have to contract
yeah,
out of a contract that you were born into. You know.
yeah,
But
yeah,
not
brother.
only
But
that, I
that,
mean, you
but
become a legal entity, then like I said, it's
exactly,
harder. You're not an individual anymore. An individual
Right.
can be jailed and
exactly,
locked up
Like
and
they own
exactly,
your ass. They
while an
own your ass with
organization
exactly,
permits. They own your ass
different.
with legalese and
exactly,
laws that you can't even
exactly.
fish and hunt and eat yourself and collect
and
water.
that's
You can't
so. I think
survive without them.
so, Vic. If I
Yeah, for
understand
sure. But
correctly, what you're
yep,
saying is to basically use their own rules and turn it into something against them based on their rules that they have established, right? Uh like their own Achilles tendon. They're committed to their words, their documents, and their paper. So when you do it
exactly.
that way, they have nothing. They can't. You're fighting them on their
Exactly.
terms, right?
You could be exactly. You could be just 3 people in that organization, and you can go and shake anybody because of that paper, because of that identification you
It's
get
like being
once
a
you
tax-free
register.
a church or something.
You know, yeah. So it gives you power to go and question. It gives you power to go and institute, and they have to reply you. Right? You can go
Mhm.
and question science, like institutions or even NASA if you want to. Like if an individual go, nobody's going to entertain you. But if you are
Right.
going to represent somebody, some legal organization, they have to answer you. They have to entertain you. So this is the way you understood perfectly. Like this is how we can go against them and become from a smaller to a big collective to a
Mhm.
strong, like all over the world, right? But it needs to start from somewhere, you know. So US is a good place, you know. There are a lot of flat earthers there. There are many people who could represent and start that, you know. And there's so much, but that's why I say the World Flat Earth Association, the idea was always that, to create in the future a place, an association. That group has almost reaching 60,000 people, right? Whatever we could do in the future with that, but it's there. The idea is
Okay.
there, right?
Yeah.
So imagine what, you know, what, imagine what unity can do, right? Imagine 10 people, even if 10 people get together, as you say, and we put $100 together, you know, that's
Mhm.
$1,000. Even a $1,000 a year, what could you do? Just an
Well,
example. So
yeah, exactly. You said
if it's
60,000
100,
people. If
exactly,
they
if
all
you have
just put in
50,000,
$3, that would be enough to buy a plot of land out in the mountains or whatever, and then people could continue to do donations for the next project. Maybe the first thing is get the plot of land. That's going to be the safe haven
exactly.
for the flat earth community when the shit hits the fan or something like that. You get the plot of land, and then the next thing is maybe getting like the crop set up there, getting the money for that, or compound buildings, or maybe underground bunker or something like that.
The important is the organization, right? And to
The
have that,
paperwork.
the body, have the body, have a place, like even if it's an office or a club kind of place, you know, for flat earthers to get around, you know, even if it's a place rented, because if there are enough members to support the association, there's that funds could help to rent a place, you know, have like an office or a headquarter, if you want to call it, with our model there, made of few
Mm.
$1,000s, right? People could go and visit or whatever, right? And from there
Mhm.
it could grow, right? You can even go to to the politicians and government, say for us to, like, you know, even right, create a political party. Who the hell know? Everything is possible, right? But it starts from that small group and then it grows, right? There
And
will
it starts with
revolution
paperwork.
always.
Mhm.
Yeah, it starts with that's the most important. I'm telling you, brother, I have a lot of experience in this, and I'm not in US. If I was in US, that association was already 10 years old, and me being
Mhm.
the president, right?
Wow.
Sorry, guys, I just went on a rant.
No, it was great though. You made a lot of great points, Vika.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to rant. It's your show, brother.
Yeah, for me, I would think of having a safe haven because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world right now. I feel like a lot of the stuff that's being talked about, the regular person in the regular home might not be safe from it. You know what I mean? I mean, I've talked to a few people, and it's like people really should get prepared for if something like that solar flare type thing happens again. You know, big air quotations, whatever it was, it wiped out communications. And that can mess a lot of things up for a lot of people, kids at school, not having your family together. People should probably, at least make plans on how to deal with that happening again.
That's going to be disruptive on many levels, with food distribution and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Medicine could get disrupted if there's no communications.
Yeah.
A lot of that has a
I
lot
like
of
what he's saying
potential.
about the organization and stuff like that, but I don't think we have that much time, to be honest with you. As fast as things are moving with the depopulation agenda, all the food processing plants all around the United States catching fire, the chicken farms. Like, if you're not most people are not paying attention, and it's not going to be on the news. But a lot of our resources are getting destroyed left and right.
We have plenty of time. And we have plenty of people.
Brother, just to add you. Exactly, brother. It's an organization or an association can be made in 3 days if you want to.
No,
right?
I got that. But you're talking about political parties and all that.
Yeah,
but
but
I'm thinking we need to think about safety and food and things like that and communication alternatives.
Yeah, but what I mean is,
if everything is wiped out.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, it's very easy for them to target a small group or individual.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And you need to be prepared in that sense. That's what I mean. Nothing else,
Yeah.
So, and so when time comes and they can come and say, hey, out of here, out of here, but it's a big collective. They can't, they can't because everyone is there. They're not going to let,
And I think there are some people in the community who've tried that. I'm not sure of any like super success stories. I don't think anybody's done it on the scale that I think we'd like to see. I mean,
I've done it. I've done it, but yeah, go ahead.
No, but I mean in like a community fashion. Like, how many people are there?
Exactly. It's not easy. It's not easy to get along with different people, with different minds, different way of doing things.
Right.
Yeah, and things in the beginning might look.
And it starts politics. So.
Exactly.
Also, you're talking about different
round
level
robin
that maybe some of the truthers aren't ready to get that much involved with. You know what I mean? They're okay with popping up on Facebook and commenting on one of your cool meme, bro. But when you tell them to get involved, and they have to put their name on something or they have to throw some money into it, you'll find out that there's a lot less people that are willing to do that versus the people that are willing to comment.
It's called, what sacrifices are you willing to give up? Like, what are you willing to sacrifice to get away from the system you so-called hate? So
exactly.
A lot of the triggers, I think, are on the right page, but in order to make that dream come true, it would take a community of people like-minded, because if you go out on your own and you do it on your own, that's a lot more than relying on, let's say, I grow cucumbers, you grow tomatoes, we meet up on Friday. It's different than if I have to grow everything myself, or if I trade with 20 people who are like-minded as myself. There are ways to do it. There are definitely
exactly, and how many people are ready to sacrifice, as you say, because
the internet,
living in a community, is not comfortable. When you start a community and
king-size mattress with memory foam from NASA. What are you willing to give up?
Yeah, those are the difficult ones, because a lot of people have idea, and but you have to put it to principles, right? As I say, when I didn't manifest myself off grid just like this. I had this idea from a long time, and I put that principle that I will, and I did with time, and I worked on it, right? So I see a lot of people in the community speaking about living off grid, right? But it's time to do it, time to take that step, time to sacrifice your comforts, at least for a year or two, so you can be independent from the system. Because
even if it's a temporary thing, even if you take a break, like I say, and then coming back to like resetting yourself with the sun and things, like going camping like every once in a while is so beneficial, because you're resyncing with the earth. Like, they bring us out of this system. You wake up at whatever time you wake up, and then it's dark by 4 o'clock, and you're living in darkness. We should be, the day should start at 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. But they've got the schedule of everything so that it doesn't work like that, so that you're living in the dark and not like letting the sun. We're not outside when it's sun. We're working when it's sun.
Well, it's meant to desynchronize us from our environment.
But desynchronize us from our environment. Exactly. It's very.
We were created to live in communities. It's so much of.
Phone's still on, I think. Somebody's echoing.
We were created to live in communities with a bonfire, living off in the sun in the day, with the sun, with the stars in the night, with the nature. Yeah, we were exactly with the animals, with the tree. This we were, but we become so modernized that is manifesting in negative ways, psychologically, physically. That's the reason, because there's accumulation of stress that has no exit.
Right. Our body was built for a 24-hour system, for the sun to charge us during the day and to sleep during the night. And they've got us working on a 36-hour system. You don't have enough time in the day to complete the functions needed just to keep the lights on. It's a very, and like I say, it keeps a certain class of people in that realm. Like, no, not everybody is living in that realm. Some people have it made. Some people are good with their money and invested in stocks or whatever. I'm talking about just the average, the regular individual Joe is not living the way that they should, in the lavish lifestyle that they should. And I mean by connecting with nature that's the true lifestyle. That's the true freedom.
Yeah, everything in place is meant to destabilize us from the natural way of our realm. Everything from, we know the calendars, the moon cycles, everything.
The calendars for sure.
Yeah, the work week.
And it's all based on our solar system.
True.
Everything.
Oh yeah, we speak about in the documentary about this 1 hour daylight saving stuff, how it affects our mind and our bio clock. So imagine the rest of the cycle.
Twice a year.
Is your phone on again, Mika?
No, I don't know. It's not from my.
Mic check.
You guys good? Hello?
Yo.
Yep,
Yep.
I'm here.
All right, cool.
My mic's working, I think, if you guys can hear me.
Yep, it's gone.
You good?
Yep.
Go ahead, Dalu. Go ahead if you want to add something.
No, I didn't have to add anything. In fact, I have to unfortunately bow out. I have family that's in from out of state, from 2 different states right now. And so I only have, a little over 2 hours to spend on the show. I am having a great time, but I just saw the clock and it's been longer, it's been more time than I have a house full of family visiting from out of state. So I wanted to say thank you, Vika and Gene, so much for inviting us today. And I'm going to keep listening to the show while I go start making dinner for everybody. And I hope we get to do this again sometime. Vika, you've got a lot of great ideas and perspectives that I think are just so valuable to the community right now. And I wish you both all the luck on your channel. I already subscribed to your channel, and I've got that documentary added to my watch later. I'll be looking at that as soon as I can. It came out 2 months ago, and I can't wait to see what you guys have come up with, especially based on tonight's conversation.
Thank you, brother, for being here. You're gonna have the same moment when you realize the flat Earth. Something similar you're gonna have when you see the documentary. Thanks,
can't
brother.
wait to see it.
We normally do 2 hours, but today we are open for whenever our guests want. We are open today. Thanks, brother, for
Excellent.
being here, and whenever you want. Yep.
Thanks so much,
It's
bro.
wonderful.
Great to meet you.
Yeah, great to meet you both. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, come back anytime too, okay, you guys?
Absolutely. Maybe we
Open
can do
invite,
another
man.
show after we all watch this documentary. We can have a chat about it. That would be great.
Don't forget, we'll see you on the next episode of High Vibrations with Fight the Flat Earth is going to come join us. We're going to make fun of him.
Excellent.
Nice.
All right.
So be prepared, darling.
Oh, I'll be ready. I've got
Be
some
prepared for the
interesting-
regurgitation of a lifetime.
I've got. We'll
Have a
talk
nice
about
one.
it. You too. Thank you so much, Vika. Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, talk to you soon,
Yeah,
bro.
you too. Bye.
later, Dolu.
Good night. Stay flat.
Oh yeah. Nice.
We just got bigger.
So you you wanna Mike, you wanna share some of your souvenir stuff for the viewers on a screen share?
I mean, yeah, I can do it on screen share. It would be great.
Yeah. Go ahead and speak about it.
I just like to create merchandise for people that can share their own message. Really, like I like to. The fact that the reason I do the YouTube, the reason I do the podcast is to get my message out. So what I did with my store and my merchandise was allow people to get their message out. It's a lot of custom stuff, like custom design hoodies, like the one I have right here that says "Look up, chemtrails, wake up." You can go to thcshow.live and grab one of those, and I'll show you here right in a second.
Was that from Matt who did Frankenskies?
It is.
Excellent.
He is the new sponsor of the THC show.
Awesome. That's great. Congratulations, bro.
Yeah, man.
I watched some of that podcast you did. It was really cool.
He's a hell of a guy. You know, like I said, I'm into the people that are creating, you know, and he's obviously got a nice little following, and he loves being an activist for, you know, chemtrail. We all find our niche, you know, like mine's obviously flat earth, but I've just become very obsessed with the chemtrail thing and just obsessed with the fact that the shit is in people's faces. I can't blast flat earth in your face, but I can be like, look at the fucking thing. Look right there, you know, like, dude, and take you to his documentary or to any of these other places that I could show you factual evidence of this stuff.
Yeah.
And you just get this blank stare, like you're the crazy one. And it's
Mike,
sad.
keep in mind, you know, the term conspiracy theory was a propaganda smear
Well,
campaign.
Yeah, you had
JFK.
Obama coming on saying, and you know, in the movie with what's his name? Can't think of it right now, but the movie Conspiracy Theory.
Who's in that?
What's
The
his
Mel
name?
Gibson movie.
Mel Gibson.
Oh yeah,
dude.
right.
You know, and they just
Great movie. I haven't seen it in a while. I need to watch it again.
Talking about the $100 bills being tracking devices.
Yeah, like, and it's all
Oh,
probably
man.
real, in my
The
opinion.
black helicopters back in the day.
These are all the little designs you can have on this hat, or you can create your own. You can upload your own.
Imagine if they made that movie now with the psyops that we know now that have already happened. That shit would be wild, right?
If they gave us information like that for 20 years from now, we'd be like, wow.
No, imagine them talking about Hillary Clinton and the you know the child the adrenochrome and all that.
Bro. Yeah, the red shoes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go to
exactly,
THCshow.live
yeah.
if you want to check out some of that Flat Earth merch. I got those LED decals that you can put on your car so that when you're driving down the street, it's flashing. I mean, you can really become an activist overnight just by grabbing one or two of the things off my website.
You got the startup kit, y'all.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to wear this stuff too, guys. It's a conversation starter. You know, you walk into restaurants or places, you know, go shopping. You're really kind of proud to wear that. You know, definitely eye-catching stuff. Mike, I personally don't have any of your stuff yet, but we talked about that. We're gonna work on something like that.
Yeah, man, I'd love to put something in the store.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. People have come up to me and touched me. You know, where'd you get that? Where's that? You know, and it's like, dude, like, I understand it's cool and all, but it turned you into an instant superstar because you'll walk in somewhere and they've never seen anything like that, and you can have any message or picture or animation you want. So I highly recommend going to get that stuff. I give away free stuff on my show all the time. So if you come check out our podcast, maybe you'll win something just by being in the chat. Julia Ron's in the chat right now. She's got a nice little LED thermos on the way, so she can be, you know, just chilling. And her message is saying, you know, research flat Earth just while she's sitting there. So
I see Mike Zudnick just subs to you, bro.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, Mike Zudnick.
Go, Mike. Great channel, brother.
No, I don't
Great
have
channel,
merch.
and Mike, I love the angle you came in, bro. It's you know, it's nature's, you know.
It's funny how that all worked out.
System that accepts this plant as a healing. It's for us, man. It's got so many properties that we got.
I want to tell you, right at the time that I came into this, like cannabis was becoming legal in my state. So I was like, you know, this is the perfect time to once again advocate. Maybe I can spread the message of flat Earth through potheads. If you know, and just like Vika said, I swear that really caught me right there when you were like, what do you do when you smoke? You're like, oh man, maybe it's not real, you know, or like what are the stars? Like that's how I got into it. I was like, what the fuck is that shit? Is it known, bro? You know, and it makes you ask questions. Like it's such a good combination. You get, you know, if you get stoned and you get into the truth, it really helps you go down those rabbit holes and kind of decipher. It helps your brain work.
Yeah, but bro,
and
the rabbit holes appear to be dark, but there's more light down there than you might expect, right?
When you find out. That how beautiful the world works, and once you figure it all out, I mean, you really have to go deep, and it's scary and it's tough, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it.
It is. You know, we don't want to live in a Disney world that don't exist. You know, we talk about, you know, other beings though. Before just clicked in my mind. You know, they explain outer space to be so endless that with all the motion, we can't detect it for thousands of years. That's how far away things are as they move so fast. So it gives you can put that into perspective, what they're talking about. But now if you could put that into the land we live on and how vast it really could be, that's a beautiful place, man. You know, but they won't let us know. But sooner or later.
And pondering, you know, I think they want you to think that you can trust them because they have the answers to life's greatest questions. As a boy, the reason that we all believe in space is because as a boy, you say, where do we come from and where are we? That's a human's natural thought to constantly have and to always ponder that thought unless you actually figure it out. So they're sitting there saying they have the answer to life's greatest questions, and all of a sudden they are your perceived authority. Anything from the government is trustworthy, and they know all the things. And
they've been doing it for years. They got this all covered. You know, it's so tough. Round. They checked.
It's so tough. What were you going to say? Go ahead, brother. Tell them about yours.
What is it now?
You going to tell them about your website?
Oh yeah. I was gonna say I don't have any merch, but I do have a mobile auto glass business that takes care of most of the major cities in Florida. So if you're in the state of Florida and you have full coverage insurance, if you get a chip or crack in your windshield, it's free to replace your windshield through your insurance company. Your deductible is actually waived. And my company comes and replaces it mobily at no cost. So if you're in Florida, you can go to www.floridasfinestglass.com.
I just put it in the. Oh, is it Florida's Finest Auto Glass or Florida's Finest Glass?
FloridasFinestGlass.com.
Got you.
And then you can always call us toll free at 833-31-GLASS.
Awesome.
FloridasFinestGlass.com if you're in the Florida area, which I know a lot of you truthers are, man. Gosh, there's so many people down in Florida. I wish there was some more here in Virginia.
Yeah, guys, hit them up if you're out there, man.
Oh yeah,
maybe. Everybody likes it.
Even Keith, who joined earlier, is in Florida, right?
Okay. Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's
Keith, who joined
meetups.
us
If you go
early.
to flatearthfestivals.com, run by Karen B, FE. You can find meetups in your local area, which is great. So check that out if you're in the Florida area, Matt.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to find some.
Yeah.
Cool. So, yep, guys, we could go anywhere, but yeah, you wanna discuss other parts you had? Any questions, Matt?
Just quick question. Where are you guys at with the flat Earth? As far as do you guys check out Noskin Funding at all? The site where the guy has the navigator's daughter or something like that that's been sharing information supposedly from behind the ice wall. You guys put any stock into that?
I
I
didn't.
think the guy's from Spain actually. Vika, the guy from Noskin Funding.
Sorry.
I said I think the guy who runs the account for Noskin Funding is the same guy who made this map here. Is
okay.
from Spain, I
Okay.
believe.
Okay. No, I
And
know,
see, that's a
don't know
good
about
theory
him.
too. I like that, but you never know, right?
Yeah, it's about multiple domes and that they're being the planets that are in the sky are actually, other domes that are past the ice wall or that are inaccessible to us. I mean, it's pretty interesting.
He
talked
speaks
about that a little.
Spanish.
Yes.
Yeah, he's Spanish. He's Spanish, but he speaks Spanish, but he's not Spanish.
I believe so.
Comes to Spain, but yeah, these guys are like almost like they say they are time travelers.
Well, I don't think he said that he was supposedly in contact with this guy William Morris. It was like a granddaughter or something. William Morris was a sea captain in the Revolutionary War, and then the story goes.
So that's another one. Okay, that's another one. Then there's another one. So the one I am speaking about is about guys about those Antarctica cube, and they speak about different lands and different ponds that exist. Two different story, but I heard about the one now
Similar
you're saying that I
aspect, yeah.
recollect. Yeah, I recollect now that.
Yeah, well, this one is interesting. He says that back then he bought a decommissioned ship. They the whole reason that left out there was one of the sea captains had heard a rumor about somebody having a map of a passageway through to some other realm. So when they get out of the war, they buy the ship, they get the crew together, and they sail out there, and they encounter like a futuristic ship back in like the 1900s or something, early 1900s, that takes them in and lets them know that basically that we live in this hostile realm and they're in this place, I guess the Iron Republic, or have you guys heard of the Iron Republic?
Oh yeah.
It's supposed to be like right outside of our ice wall, or on the other side of it, Antarctica. That might
Is this the people who were supposedly like taken from the 1817 or 1800s and brought like into today's technology?
I think it was more advanced than even today's technology. I think what it is I think what they were trying to say is that we're the people from the reset, and they're the people that made it out of the reset, and they still have all the technology from so their technology kept developing while ours was reset back to horse and buggies pretty much back in the. And so this is supposedly the story from his daughter or great granddaughter who made it back, and she's the one who's been in contact with the Noskin Funding guy, giving him the information. And it's pretty interesting. He talks about the custodians and different races of aliens that exist in these other ponds, I guess, or other domes that have they're basically like reptilians or Anunnaki or something like that.
Well, there's been cargo ships pinged off past the Antarctica wall 400 miles. And, I was wondering, maybe it could be like a seasonal break in the ice in certain places or something like that, or intentional vibrational machinery, like whatever, but to get GPS pings 400 miles past that.
Well, there's actually a summer gate supposedly, and you can actually look it up online, and it actually has like some like old Nordic name. It's a well-known place. And then there's something called the Serpent's Gate, and they actually have pictures of it that you can find, and they have plants and stuff that don't look like anything from here.
Wow.
And supposedly like the summer gate is named for that because during the summer, I guess the ice melts enough where like an ice crushing ship can actually push through it, but it's too thick for during the winter months.
Right. Something happens, it seems.
Yeah.
I think the chemtrails have a lot to play in it. With we can all say that the sea level hasn't risen or whatever, but if the ice caps, why do they call it caps? One, and then if they reach to the bottom of whatever we're on and they rise above the water, if they melt below the water and above the water, that would be more water. It's not like ice cubes in a cup because the ice cubes are not protruding the surface of the plane. So when I think about these chemtrails lately, I'm always wondering, what are they doing it for? Why are they trying to block the sun? And it's like, well, everything's melting. And it's been that way since humans have been here. That's just how the sun works. It's melting shit. It's hot. So they're trying to slow it down. Whatever they're doing, they're not trying to stop anything. They're trying to slow it down. They know that something's coming, something's happening. They're building these bunkers, some kind of event they're trying to prepare for, and I think they're trying to slow it down.
You don't think they're just trying to poison us in the sky?
It's a multiple bird.
I think it's just pretty much that simple. I think they're just trying to increase respiratory disease and put heavy metals into our bodies so that the radiation from the 5G tower.
Okay, all right.
To be honest, that's my perspective.
This is the thing. We were supposed to avoid some of the hot words. What I wanted to say, Matt, about the extra lands and all this stuff, when you said about the Iron Realm,
Sure.
That one, is that I also know of two guys who say that they are time travelers, right? And you guys heard about when in the alien agenda stuff. Maybe Mike, you might have heard also when you were looking into the aliens before. You heard about this cube in Antarctica, right? That a huge cube they find there. There were some people from some missions, and they were whistleblowers.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about Spartan 1 and Spartan 2, like the structure where they went down there? The big doors like 33 feet thick.
Yeah. That one. So I know two guys. I'm supposed to contact them in the near future, but they are also speaking about the same thing. They speak about this cube that is supposed to be some kind of a portal, and then they speak about extra lands, and they give measurement, they give distances, brother. So I have to get in contact with them also, because I share a lot of similarities, in their because there are different ways, right? They see it as a simulation, right? They have their own way of seeing and explaining it, but quite interesting. But that it exists, and I'm looking forward for that for that contact and speak on that, and also give my idea. But this is the thing: these guys don't speak English; these guys speak Spanish.
I'd like to hear more about what the in Antarctica, the pyramid that all the like the
one in Alaska is a trip.
Like
Black Pyramid in Alaska.
Went out there to see, because in my opinion, I don't know what it is, but I know that it's got to be important for these people to show up and get like photographed getting off the plane, like all these different political figures, not just one or two.
Nice. Well, what I was going to say,
and don't forget to read your Facebook, Matt. I already sent you a message.
I'm sorry. All right. Oh shoot. Okay. Okay. Nice. All right. What I was going to say, what Vika was talking about, is when I hear more sources that have very similar details, that line up with other stories, it makes me consider it more like that's probably likely what it is. When I hear more stories about the Iron Republic, or that there's a Summergate or a place that ships are passing through regularly. When I see that stuff, it all lines up, and it confirms what I already think. But in reality, we really don't know for sure. We're all speculating.
But when we bring our ideas together, I just love that, because the whole two heads are better than one is the only way we figure stuff out, I think, in the end.
Yeah. You're familiarized with what's going on, and you don't know all the details. You catch more little details. Matt, like you said, you hear it again. It's like, well, and the pieces of the puzzle start to come together.
You know,
Well,
they
same
have
with what he said about the chakras, even because the inner energy, they even have the Western version of it in the Kabbalah with the Sephiroths. And the Sephiroths, it's the exact same thing. It's the mirror image of it, but it's just another group of people that discovered the exact same thing and just gave it different names. Doesn't make it any less true. It just confirms it even further as a
Right.
truth.
Yeah. And the further
Oh,
back
yeah.
you go, the better off you seem to be.
Oh yeah, me and Gene also we ponder a lot about technologies. What other technologies exist, right? If we are speaking about 1500 years of hidden technology, what else could exist?
You know, I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid in the 80s, we just on the street, we knew that the government, the military was at least 50 years ahead of anything we saw on the street.
Well,
At
how do they
least.
keep putting it in movies? How do
They had cell phones in Vietnam.
If
All
you
these-
see like the
all
Back
these
to the Future
predictions.
movie, like where they have these big holograms, like when we were kids, holograms weren't real. It was
No,
just
they were
something that
little
you saw in,
toys
like,
you got
Star
in
Wars.
Cracker Jacks were holograms, you know?
Yeah, but they had them in Hollywood. Where'd they get the idea?
But you know what, guys? I don't know if you know, but in you know with the planes that drop, the vitamins in the sky, they have barium and strontium are also two of the main ingredients for high-end holograms.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
maybe
you know, and
that's
the
why maybe they're
barium is-
spraying.
Yet another layer.
Barium could be like all the digestional problems everybody's having also. You know, everything's got like layer on layer on layer. So it's not just one reason they're doing it for. So, you know, and then you got the aluminum.
Oh yeah, oh
Everybody got
yeah.
Alzheimer's. You know.
On my roof, sometimes it's like red powder. You know, red powder, like
on your where?
metal. You know,
Did you try
every few
collecting it?
months because they're spraying.
Oh man.
So you every few months you find like red powder, you know, like because they had the amount of crap they spray, you know. But it's not like in US, right? Here you have at least many days you have clear skies for days.
No.
Yeah.
Today we had
yeah.
a clear sky.
I don't get clear skies where I'm at. It's horrible here.
We get them here and there, but it's just hazy and covered and
Yeah.
harpers all over. You see the ripples.
The sun's
in the
always like
clouds,
so
the repeated
distorted.
patterns. What's
The
that?
sun's like, you know what I'm saying? The sun looks like 50 times bigger because it's all hazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Clouds that look like they're run through a cheese grater.
But you know what?
Yo,
on those
God,
super
I want to
cloudy.
talk about that. That's the microwave things.
But on those super cloudy days when you can't really see the sun, even that shows a nice difference between sunlight and daylight. So you can't spot the sun. There's not a lot of shadows. You know, those super cloudy days. Shadows are minimal. Like under a car, you'll see a shadow, but you can't tell like what direction the sun's coming from.
I used to play
I didn't pay
outside.
attention to that.
I used to remember playing baseball in the field and seeing the edge of the cloud shadow, distinctly seeing that edge. And you don't see that anymore because it's so friggin' hazy that it just blends with the rest of the fog.
Yeah.
Interesting. I hadn't noticed
Do
that.
you remember that? I mean, you could see the exact
No,
edge
you're
of a
talking
cloud.
about.
You still can in clear areas like out in the desert and things.
Yeah, under the right circumstance, you'll see it, but it's not available a lot.
Like when you're driving down the highway nowadays, like the sun is so powerful gleaming. It's so blinding because it's like magnifying going through all this crap. I mean, I don't get it. It's so bad. The sun used to look small and now it looks 50 times larger when you look up there.
Maybe they were tired of people saying the moon was the same size as the sun, so they're trying to distort the size.
Oh, you know, but speaking about the moon, like if you see the high altitude footage, the moon looks very small, really small. You'll never see a moon big in a high altitude footage, you know.
Huh.
So
Right.
so it's very, very curious. So it means that the atmosphere it can be playing a part. Like it's literally magnifying and making it look like the size of the
That's why I think
of
the
the
sun reaches
sun.
everywhere. It's magnified.
Yeah, because
The power that it would have to be.
Than it does the sun. It
If
makes
we
the sun
can't create, we
smaller.
can't create the power, the lumen. You know, there's a name for the strength of the sunlight, right? The lumen. We couldn't. Can we recreate that? I don't think we can. It's because it's being magnified.
This might be a silly question, but I wonder if the moon's light, given that it's different from the sun, I wonder if it can be measured in lumens as well.
You know what? If you do the inverse square law of light backwards to the moon, a full moon, it's supposedly brighter. It should be brighter than the sun because it's so bright down here.
Because of how close it is?
I'm sorry?
Because of how close it is?
Well, but just because of how bright it is.
Well, the inverse square law has to do with like a dissipation of distance.
Right. So if you do it backwards to the moon and you gauge how bright that should be gauged to down here, it should be brighter than the sun.
Based on the distance from here to the moon.
Yeah.
That's wild. I didn't think about that.
Crazy, bro. It's nuts.
The math just doesn't math. And science doesn't science, does it?
Yeah, no, it never does.
The moon is really bright. And it's got that cooling effect and the shade. There's a lot of differences, you know. Psyche changes among animals.
It's my opinion that the moon is a solid. It's just connected to the fucking dome.
What do you guys think about those native tribes that have literature or passed down stories of a time when they say there was no moon in the sky, and that it was?
I think that's because the moon is an old sun. There was no moon because the moon is only called the moon because it used to be a sun that burnt out.
Wow.
The moon is the same size.
Yeah, I've heard of those.
Heard that
They
too.
say that they put this to
That's
keep
my
us
theory.
in the time, right? That's why they put the sun and the moon. There are some I've heard about those. Who knows?
It dawned on me
maybe
that the
we were
craters
being-
are created from heat. The craters are boiling points or pockets of heat. You know, it's like the sun. You want to say there's a sunspot. Maybe that's the start of a crater. Maybe there really is a sunspot and it's the beginning of a crater. And that's how the moon was created, is that it burnt out. Whatever energy was charging the sun, which was the moon, died. So now you have the lesser light because it's not light anymore. It's not the greater light. And you have the greater light.
Well, I wonder what that was like when that happened, when they swapped out the suns. I would have liked to see that.
What do you mean swap out?
Well, you're saying one sun died and became the moon, and then they just were, and another one came, I guess, is what you're implying, right?
Or
you're saying that there were just two bright suns out there and just one of them burnt out.
Sure. You can go anywhere from here.
Yeah.
Take your mind wherever it needs to be. You know?
I'm just trying to ask what you're implying.
That is what I'm implying.
Okay. Which one?
Interesting to think about.
Yep. Which one? That's what I'm implying, is that it's a theory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just trying to grasp.
I don't have. There's no solution. It's just a.
Of course, speculation.
Yeah. That's the whole point. Yeah, guys, we don't leave any stone unturned, really. You know, no stone unturned, no turn on stone.
I like it.
Oh yeah, and the sun also is very divine, right? It's you see the light. It's like some claim that it's a black hole, and there's the light of the divine is directly coming through that. If you really think about it, every morning when the sun comes out and comes up above you, that radiant light is so strong that you cannot even look into it. If you really think about it as a black hole, and that divine light is coming to us for X hours, it's crazy. You know, you can't even see in that. It's so powerful, right? What else could it be? You know, it's maybe that divine creator that is presenting himself every day for us, right?
The stars are lit from our sun, correct?
Yeah, let me find out that it's just some giant, like we're in a big terrarium, and it's just a big giant, you know, with a extremely powerful flashlight,
right?
You know, and something moving it around, and then all the stars are just holes poked in the top of the container.
And the first NASA footage was always correct, and they they didn't want to. Now they have to fake it because they didn't want us to know it was just total.
Yeah.
That's some rough stuff. That footage is
The first one,
bad.
oh my goodness, makes me want to
Well,
vomit.
the one with
Anyone
the guy
who look at
dangling
that with
above the road.
legitimacy.
Dude, how did you do
Sorry.
part 2 after part 1 with that footage, man? How did they get away with part 2? They didn't get laughed off the stage with that. Unbelievable.
With enough idiots co-signing it. That's how.
I guess.
Ooh, enough oohs and ahs, and it's real, you know.
Yeah.
My granddad seen it on the radio.
Fact.
Well, you know, I've said it plenty, man. I think that's why TV was created, just for this purpose of disinformation. And
Oh, absolutely.
100%. That's
they didn't do it because they discovered this way to entertain us and inform us. And
The word entertain means to distract. You know,
it's all in the
Yeah.
words of everything. Programming, everything.
channel.
yeah,
It's all spell. It's all channeling, your
Remote
program, your
control.
broadcasting. Yeah. It is all the words of a fucking witch house. You know what I'm saying? In your TV.
And we're
And you're
brought up
trying
in the words
your
of
fucking hologram TV.
yeah. Well, you know, they got the remote control. They're controlling us from all around.
Remote control, bro. Dude. I'm saying.
Like, wow. Now, and you know
Oh,
what?
yeah.
We were talking about Sigmund
Anyone who
Freud.
says otherwise is an idiot.
Bro, we were talking about Sigmund Freud before with Edward Bernays, and Edward Bernays is Sigmund Freud's nephew, and
Oh wow.
Bernays' nephew is Mark Randolph Bernays, and he's the guy who founded Netflix.
Yeah, and his grandfather is the father of propaganda, or
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, his
father-
uncle, Edward Bernays, is
Yeah,
It
So
doesn't
yeah.
surprise me. I figured out that Netflix was the next propaganda like push because they knew that cable was going into like this.
That last big movie with Netflix, I think we talked about on the show, where it had those extra audio files added to it.
Right, that Netflix
Oh, yeah.
is taking
Oh,
the
yeah.
original footage and adding overlays.
The
Yeah,
the
there's never
Obama
been-
movie.
That ever had more than two files, a video file and an audio file. So these,
But do you
this Netflix
but
had
do
like
you-
5 audio files in there overlaid.
do you think it's the first time, brother?
Subliminal
You
stuff?
think it's the first time?
Yes. They had subliminal, and they don't even know, I don't even think they isolated the sounds. They're probably low tone frequencies or high tone frequencies. So they're using frequencies to fuck with people in the net that watch these popular Netflix movies. Anytime I see something super popular on Netflix, I do not watch it.
Yeah, I haven't seen any
I've
of
not
them
seen-
yet, bro.
Not me, also. You know,
I
so
don't watch
that
Netflix.
Obama,
I don't watch
that
TV.
Obama movie also I didn't watch because how many other
Right, I
movies
didn't
have
either.
to be the same?
I didn't watch The
They
Sound
have
of
to have-
Freedom, none of those.
I think you get to a point in your truther career that you just you get tired of it. You're like, okay,
I dropped off that scene a while back, man. Well, before I
Yeah.
became what I'm doing today, you know, before I knew about Flat Earth, I ended up watching. I saw a post I posted, and all I was watching was space stuff, hockey, and UFC. And then, you know, the space stuff kind of got old. You know, Neil deGrasse Tyson started getting bigger, and I thought that guy was kind of a jerk from day 3, I guess. You know. At first, I was like, "Oh, listen to him," and then he was like, "He's fucking obnoxious. This guy. Wow, he was rough to listen to." You know. So that fell off, and then I found myself yelling at the refs because I was a Ranger fan, and you know they got the best players, but worth the most money at the end of their careers when they can't do anything anymore. So it was really tough to be a Ranger fan and enjoy hockey. And I'm like, what am I doing? And
what am I doing?
Really,
I love that question. I love that question.
What am I doing here?
What am I doing?
I can relate. I was like that with football. I was like a Steelers fan for a while, and then it's like Roethlisberger starts getting caught with underage girls and shit like that, and I'm like, and then it's like, you know what? I get on the Flat Earth, and I was like, yeah, there's a reason I was falling off from sports. But like you said, I still like UFC. I still like somebody getting their ass kicked. But
nice. I got a friend who used to be in the UFC. I don't know if you heard of Hurricane Shane Burgos.
It sounds familiar.
He left. He went to IFL now, so he's not in UFC. He's a good fighter. He had a good record. He's doing well. He's got 2 brothers into
Nice.
I don't know, send you a link or something or whatever.
Yeah, I got a buddy right now actually that's fighting. He fights out of Orlando. A guy named like Eddie Bruno. I don't know if you've heard of him. He owns an auto glass company too, and he installs auto glass. And then he's doing really well with the auto glass because everybody wants the UFC fight champ to show up and put their windshield in.
Sure. That's excellent. They're fun, you know. There's a lot of energy in those arenas when the guys are fighting, man.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of energy. And I got to a couple of the parties, which was fun. You know, I was dying to meet Eddie Bravo, but that didn't happen.
Nice. Yeah, I love the show.
That would be fun. You never know.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, somebody I definitely tune in on regular is Eddie Bravo for sure. I mean, when he has some good guests, at least.
Oh yeah. So guys, we are almost how much? 3 hours.
Okay.
Normally we do 2 hours. So any last idea or discussion before we start wrapping up? Yep.
No, just like I said before, I always like to talk about keeping the high vibrations, man. We can talk about woe is me and the fear and the people in the elite and who's in control. And it's just like, what can you really do? We can get on here. We can talk for our 2 hours. We can share our truth. We can hand out flyers when you're in your free time. You can try to wake up your neighbors, friends, and family. But then when you're done with all that, make sure you save time to get back to your family. I started out real bad, and I was obsessed with the truth, right? And that's all I wanted to talk about, wake everybody up. And if they didn't wake up, I just spend more time on it. Well, you know, I think everybody goes through that. And after a while, I realized I still got to live my life too. So don't forget to focus on yourself, you know, and if you're not there yet, you know, keep looking. You can find yourself. Just stay focused and block everything else out. Worry about your family, your immediate family, and your well-being, your healthy well-being of your mind, body, and soul.
Yeah, and also to add to that is you don't always have to come at people with flat Earth or you know the most groundbreaking conspiracy theory. You can start with just healthier lifestyle living. Teach them about eating better. Putting filters on their water. Just putting them on to a lot of the how to live a little bit better and more healthy. Exercise, meditation, things like that. You can turn people onto that. And then you can create common ground with those people, and then you can slip in the flat Earth here and there.
Nice. Very cool.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's got an angle that you can find where they're not a soft spot but a place you can approach them in, whether it's the food industry, the medical industry, or politics, or flat Earth, or science, or history. There's a lot of different areas coming out to the open where it makes the conversation a lot more approachable for different people, I think.
Yeah, the objective is to connect with the people ultimately. So you got to connect where you can, and then that at least keeps the conversation going to where you can lead it where you want to possibly maybe try to expose into some more truth.
Definitely. Yeah, but the abundance of it is just crazy. And it all got done, guys, with one word. All of it was done with propaganda. All of it, man. Great conversation here, you guys. Mike, it was really great to meet you, bro. And this was a great topic, man. Maybe we can have you guys back. We can pick up where we left off.
We need to get you guys on ours next.
Yeah,
What's that?
We need to get you guys on ours next.
Oh, I'd love to, man. That would be excellent, man.
Oh, sure, brother.
We'll pick another good topic and we'll get down.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely, bro. No, it was good to meet you guys, and I really appreciate you putting your time aside and coming to hang out and having a conversation with us and spreading the truth, It's important, man. We're doing this for people in 5 days from now, and people in 50 years from now are going to understand this better. And that's my goal, man, is to hang out, learn this stuff with everybody, and talk about it to as many people as I could get my hands on. Everybody behind the counter, both sides. When I'm ordering stuff, when they're ordering stuff from me, you know what I mean? Anybody, anywhere. I'm like, hey, what do you think about, I'll walk right over to someone and be like, hey, what do you think about flat Earth? Like, what? I'm like, yeah, really serious. What do you think about it? Because, you know, they got us living on a ball of wood, and I just go into it, and like people like, never thought of that.
You gotta wake them up, shock and awe. That's how I do
Yeah,
it.
dude.
Ah.
But yeah,
I don't
definitely.
hold back, bro. I don't hold back.
Some of them
Yeah.
are real receptive to it, you know?
Yeah, I got a little swag to me, so you know I wake people up with a little like confidence too. You know, it takes a man to come out and say some shit like that. One, you know, you gotta have some balls.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me on the show, Gene and Vickett. Like, it's been a pleasure. I'm always down to talk about the truth and spread awareness. Anytime.
Oh yeah, brother, absolutely. Because as you all say, right, it's very difficult even for people to speak, as Gene saying, the people, or even to come to a podcast or do your podcast or start speaking or come in the you know, it's people. Not everybody can do it. You know, you might be the most awesome speaker and presenter, maybe in real physical world, but maybe when you come on a camera or you know, when you have to do a speaking in public, or you know what I mean. So not everybody have it, right? So whoever is putting in there those efforts, so we all should join forces, right? Spread, share each other and everywhere, cross platform, same platform, different platforms, right? This is what we are seeing, and that's the best part. At least there's some hope, right, for the truth. So yeah, absolutely, it was pleasure to have you guys here, and definitely we're gonna visit to your podcast too, and we're gonna have second round, because as it's Flat Earth is so wide that it can be done in, you know, a couple of podcasts, or so it's good. It's a good start, you know. So awesome. So I will ask you guys to say where the people can find you, and your last thoughts, last closing words.
Go ahead, Mike.
All right. Yeah, you can find us over at thcshow.live. We have the Matt, myself, and Dalu, who was just here. We do the High Vibrations podcast. If you want to grab some cool Flat Earth merch, you can also check out thcshow.live. And you can catch me on Facebook, where I have a lot of following, and Matt has a lot of following, and we share memes and videos and all kinds of funny stuff. I mean, we're always having a good time and laughing and arguing with Glovers over there. So if you want to come join in the fun, you can look me up on Mike Labrash, Roman numeral 2. And it's been a blast. It is an honor to be here. And this definitely marks a spot in history. I think, like you said, Gene, you know, even if it's not today or people in the chat, or if it's 5 years down the road and some kid's watching this and he wakes up because of it, my goal is to reach one person. And as long as I do that, I'm a happy man. So thanks again, Vika. Thanks, Gene, for inviting us.
Yeah, brother.
Very much a pleasure
Thanks,
to be
you
on the
guys, for
show.
listening back.
Yeah, you can find me at Matthew Tweel on Facebook, or Matt the Glassman on IG, of course.
Awesome. So we also are connected on Facebook. You guys can also join my group, also to our TALU, you know, the World Flat Earth Association, the Flat Earth Research Network, Flatten the Curve, Heliopsychosis. These are the 4 groups we have. So yeah, Mike is in all of them. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for being here, and we are definitely looking for more encounters, like, you know, this vibration, this frequency, right, for where we can just go, and we are open and easy, you know. We don't have any specific fixed topic, you know. So it was great, a great chat. And yeah, brother, work on it, Matt, on getting people together. You guys are there, right? If you need any support in any way, what else, I'm here also for in whatever I could from here to add in if there's a idea to have a collective, you know. So awesome, guys. Gene, last thoughts, brother.
I was saying it was a pleasure to have you guys, and thank you so much for dedicating the night for us. And you know, Matt, you stretch your time out over there for us, man. I really appreciate it, you know, bro.
Yeah, sorry I was a little bit late.
Nah, that's all good, man. I'm glad you're here, bro. You know what I mean? It's not easy to dedicate time and commit and be there and really do it. And So I really appreciate you guys, man. And it was great to meet you. I thought the conversation was awesome, bro. And we went into a lot of great areas, a lot of awesome areas. So yeah, definitely come back anytime you want, guys. And we'll love to get on your show too. That would be a lot of fun.
We're gonna set it up for sure.
Sure.
Definitely. But we'll see you on Facebook, guys. You know, we'll see you up there, man.
It just dawned on me. Don't forget, if you're in the chat, come check out our next show with Fight the Flat Earth, Craig McNeil. We're going to have him on. So it should be a large show. And
when is it?
Hilarious time.
When is it?
Well, there's no date set. I'm hoping that if I can talk to Matt and Dalu by tomorrow, it's going to be 2 Sundays from today. I'm
awesome.
hoping.
Awesome.
So, but it will be our next episode. He is our next guest, and it's going to be a hell of a time.
So we're going to be tuning in.
Do you have a specific time you usually do Sundays?
Just around anywhere in the afternoon, 4 to 6, somewhere around then.
Right, cool.
Because there's 3 of us, so we just have to line up our schedules. And Dalu's super busy. Matt's running his own company and got his kid every other weekend. I've got my 2 kids over here, and I do my own thing. So
exactly, bro. It's busy, man. That's why I really appreciate you guys hanging out so much.
Of course.
Man. And everybody in the chat, man. You guys are awesome. We love you guys. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Tyler, for super chatting.
And we'll be there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So there you have it, people. I want to give Matthew, Brian Odell, FE Nation. Thanks for the super chat and the membership, and thank you everybody in the chat, for being here. We had an amazing high vibration podcast. We will have our goodbye after show. A small chat before we say goodbye to our guest of tonight. And make sure you guys check us out on the next episode of Heliopsychosis podcast. We're going to be having amazing more guests like us today. So make sure you are there for the next week. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Gene, brother. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you guys check us out on the next episode of Heliopsychosis podcast. This is your host, Vikas Rajiv, signing out, guys. Bye.
Night, everyone.
Good night.
Yeah.